What's up, guys? It's Cooper Webb, and you're listening to the MotoXpod.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Aaron Plessinger, and you guys are listening to the MotoXpod.
Save me from myself. My arms and legs are bound, like an aging corpse from another world. I'll scream the truth 6 feet underground. Feel alive inside yourself. Watch your enemies dispel. If I could find a way to avoid this fate.
All right. The great outdoors have begun, and we're back with another Vital MX MotoXpod presented by Racetech and Yamaha Motor USA. Lots to talk about coming off of Fox Raceway. Big surprises, no surprises. We'll discuss it. Who knows? Coming up, Hangtown in another week. We'll be back at it. But lots to talk about. Tonight we have from Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki, Drew Adams, and also from Gizmo Mods, Rock River Yamaha, our buddy Grant Harlan on the phone on the show tonight. MotoXpodShow@gmail.com is our email. We asked for emails last week. I threw a little bit of a rant. I don't know if that's what you want to call it. And we got some emails, and we're going to read a few of them. And I think we have a lesson on listening also to be had. But we'll get to all that here in just a minute. Don't forget, like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. That does a lot for us, helps us out. Before we get going into the show, though, let's introduce the co-host. As always, working the cameras, YouTube chat, Scotty Thompson. What's up, Scotty?
Hey, man, outdoors is here. We're racing. It's good time. Glad to be here.
We are racing. That is true. That is true. Also, back in studio, it's been a little bit. Chase Moore.
What's going on, man? Good to be back.
Yep, good to be back. Good to have you back. TJ's a loser, and he's not even working. He's just not here.
I mean, you talk about listening, but you don't ever listen when we tell you that his name's not Chase, it's Garth.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I know people say he looks like Garth, but his name is Chase. So
somebody, I was at a tattoo convention this past weekend, and somebody said, dude, you know who you remind me of? Garth from Wayne's World. I'm like, yeah.
Chase,
funny about that.
Chase from the MotoXpod?
Yeah, something like that.
All right, we're going to jump into the Yamaha Motor USA Open Chat. Yamaha Motor USA has a reputation for dominance, and they showed that in the 250 class with Hayden Deegan. It doesn't happen overnight. It's built over decades. The YZ story is over 50 years of iconic machines and groundbreaking innovations. And Yamaha took their championship-winning bikes and made them even better because the best don't rest. Check them out at YamahaMotorsports.com or go to your local dealership. Find out all that Yamaha has to offer. Yamaha, yeah, Eli Tomac, second overall from Fox Raceway. Cooper Webb was 13th. Justin Cooper, 5th. So, yeah, spread out a little bit, but Yamaha, we know that they're dominant in all forms of motorsports. So, Yamaha Motor USA or Yamaha Motorsports to see out the complete line.
If you ask Cooper Webb, hey, man, your bike's got to go out at least one time this year, I think he would have taken then 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
If you look at the weather for this weekend, I think he would have taken it one of those motos.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like 101. I'm pulling up. So, I reached out to a contact at Yamaha, and I will tell you couldn't give me an exact answer, but they said like Cooper didn't do anything wrong. It wasn't like the way he was riding it, and nothing the team did went wrong, which tells me a part internally probably let go, or hell, maybe a rock hit the water pump. I don't know, but it wasn't like a team error in any way.
I couldn't believe how long it actually went.
Yeah, me too. When it started steaming, I was like, oh, it'll be a lap or two. And he went a few laps with it like that.
I was just kind of worried, like, yeah, pull off, dude. Like, don't die.
Yeah.
He just like kept jumping stuff. I mean, he did it nose high, but like, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry.
All right, let me ask you this. Did we just see the start of a stale outdoor series in both classes, Scotty? Like, are we gonna, the discussion of perfect season for either class is certainly on the table.
Right.
That'd be boring a little bit. I don't like to use that word. That's why I use stale to begin with. But like, I didn't believe Jet would be that damn dominant. So I'm kind of like, oh shit.
Yeah. I looked at it more of the take that's arguably Jet's best track and probably not Tomac's in top 10 best tracks that he's at. So I took it as the fact that Tomac was able to put that much pressure on him in the second moto and showed speed and everything. I'm going to cling on to that, at least for a couple more rounds.
Yeah.
But maybe if it keeps happening, especially when we start going to like High Point and like Redbud and stuff like that, then yeah, I'll start entertaining the undefeated conversation.
And I know you're good at doing your job, but I think the first question has to do with this topic. So,
Yeah.
okay, I didn't know. All right. Yeah, and so, yeah, you too, Chase. Was there an ominous or any kind of feeling at first or while watching of kind of like,
I mean,
shit, that's not what I wanted to see exactly?
kind of, because Tomac's had so much longer on the bike, kind of coming back and getting ready for outdoors. I know Jet didn't get much time on the bike, and he already looks great.
Yeah.
So, going forward, he's only going to get better. Like, if you look at it logically, he's only going to get better as the season goes.
Well, and hopefully
injury.
so does Eli, and so does Hunter, who I have to give a little bit of an apology to because I didn't give him any respect last week.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Dude, he looked good.
I didn't really give any respect to what he did last year. I sort of was like, yeah, but Jed got hurt and Eli wasn't there, and in my mind, I was like, maybe Hunter not got lucky, but just didn't. I didn't really feel like maybe Hunter finished where he would have had everybody been there. But this weekend, Hunter kind of shut me up. Hunter was awesome. But I still want to stick with Eli and Jet for just a minute. That second moto battle was amazing. I'm very curious whether that can continue. Like, I hope it can continue all season. But here's my thing. Jet didn't look like he was trying that hard to stay in front of him, while Eli looked like he was giving everything he had to stay with him. That is sort of just Jet's style, Chase. But
I think Jet was not at his limit. Oh, sorry.
No, I'm just messing with you. That's fine. You go ahead.
I think Jet was not at his limit, but closer than he wanted to be.
Possibly, but you have to admit, they kept saying during the broadcast how low the RPM was, and when Eli got to him, really the one time he got really close, you guys were talking before the show started about how Jet just railed that outside corner, standing up, was like, yeah, okay, cool, man, bye.
Yeah.
Almost. And maybe it wasn't that easy, but he makes it look that easy, which makes me a little nervous.
Yeah, he still had something in the tank when Eli did get close, and he kind of just pulled away and broke his spirit a little bit, which, coming off an injury like that, not riding, that's not a good sign.
But Eli's in the same boat, though.
Yeah, you're
Eli's
right.
going to get better, too.
You're right, but Eli did. I think he has had more time actually riding than Jet did. I don't know
if that really matters with a kid like Jet.
Yeah.
I
know he's only going to get better, though.
Jet is something special. There's zero doubt about that. If you argue that point, you just don't want to admit the truth.
You handle the truth.
Yeah. So I just wonder, and we don't know where Chase is really going to be. Chase just had a terrible day.
Yeah.
All the way around. I don't believe that's where Chase really is. 10th in qualifying, just we didn't see the Chase that we know exists. I'm sure maybe he's a little banged up coming into Hangtown. We don't really know. Nobody's heard that I know of what really is bothering him. But I want to believe that Chase is right there with the guys that were on the podium.
I kind of think it was something, he just banged his head pretty good, because when he came off and was talking to the mechanics, he kind of tapped his helmet one time. So hopefully it was just, he was kind of knocked dizzy a little bit and he's fine, good to go.
Did the helmet not look completely cracked to y'all, or was that just the paint?
I think that was the paint.
Okay, yeah, because it looked bad.
Yeah, I think that was just the paint. I looked at it too, and it looked like it was like some kind of lightning stripe bolt type thing or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't cracks. I don't know. I'd have to go back.
One of my tattoo guys out in California, Jay, who's reached out before, he kind of had the opinion too that he hit his head pretty hard, which we were hearing on the broadcast, and I heard from some other people that they felt like it was shoulder. But yeah, I don't think there's been any official statement, and we'll probably know more this weekend. I was talking to Lewis earlier, and Lewis didn't have any inside information, but he did say, I think the fact that Chase is still in California is a good sign. If he was really hurt, he probably would have went home. And that was a really good point that Lewis made. I think he would have just went back to Florida. So if he's still in California, he posted yesterday, I think, of him eating lunch with Tom Vial. Yeah. So you have to think he's probably okay and going to be fine. But I expect a lot more out of Chase, and we'll kind of talk about that when we get to our picks at the end of the show. But I'll say right now, Chase is still a podium pick for me going into Hangtown.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. My only thing that I'm fearful with Chase is that to do what Eli and Jet did and what like we wanted to see them do, and to have those battles and beat three-way without really the championship motivation. And I'm not saying that he can't. It's just like we've seen time and time again when you're in the championship battle, the level gets elevated. Mm-hmm. Like we saw Cooper Webb and Chase just do that in Supercross, where they were pretty much 1 and 2 every weekend. We saw that a couple years ago when Chase and Eli were in that title fight. They were putting 35, 40 seconds on Plessinger and Anderson and all of them. I'm not saying that I think Chase will still have some good races, but week in and week out to rise to that level without the championship motivation because he's 50 points down, I would like to see how that works.
I mean, he might do it now just because there's no pressure.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
And I think there's got to be some personal motivation. We talked about this last week, coming off Supercross the way he did. He's not the type of guy to be like, oh, well, I'm out now. He's the type of guy to get pissed off and be like, all right, I'm going to go out. I'm going to kick some ass. Maybe Jet goes down in a race and doesn't finish, right? And we've seen that happen.
Motos,
Maybe Eli goes down. And then you're dealing with guys like Hunter who, in an AP, who tend to have a few bad races. So let's say Chase can go out and go, let's just say he can go out and go 1-1, 1-1, and Jet goes out for a race. And, all these, you don't know.
I know.
Right? It's, don't quit now. Don't give up yet, even though it's very, very unlikely. If anybody could do it, Chase is one of those guys that could.
I agree, and that's not really my point. My point was more of the fact that to be able to go to that extra level that they have to go to, it usually seems to happen when a championship is on the line. Mm-hmm. So
sure, yes.
Yeah, it's hard to do it week in and week out when that motivation's not there.
Yeah,
you have to be like a super self-motivator to go to that level.
Think he is.
I think he is too. Yeah. But
that's what I'm curious to see.
You get into the middle of summer and it's a lot harder to. It's easier to say than it is to do.
Yeah.
So
then you also have to look at. It's a pretty good chance he's switching teams.
Yeah, that also takes a layer of pressure off. So he's just like.
Well, it could go either way. You could be like, well, I'm not going to race for this team anyway. Or you could go, well, I need to prove to next year's team that I don't quit. So you could look at it a lot of ways. And we'll know more after this coming Saturday in town.
Yeah.
Before we move on, I did want to ask you, you mentioned the series being stale or whatever. So let's just say Jet does perfect season. But every race, at least one of the motos is like Paula, where Eli just is right there and just challenges him. You still call it stale?
No, if the racing's good, it's not. Yeah. If he just walks away and he's gone, then
kind of like stale. 23, where unfortunately Chase missed a couple rounds, so it kind of took him out of the title fight. But
no, because there were still, like even this race, there were still good battles going on. Maybe we didn't get to see them all, but you could watch time and scoring, or there were still good racing in spots. So it wasn't. I wouldn't even say it's stale yet. I was just asking if anybody thought, well, it's on the way to being stale.
It definitely could be.
Certainly not ready to say that.
I don't think
yet.
Eli's going to let that happen.
I don't either, but you never know.
Yeah.
Let's Jet's emotions after the win. That was pretty telling of how what that meant to him, that burden of everything he's been through, and personally and physically. That was really cool to see, just him kind of have that moment of like kneeling down, laying over the bike, a little bit of a breakdown.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool to see the kid.
I mean, he kind of just went through the first adversity he's really ever gone through. So
first real injury. Yeah, that's Hunter, and he talked about that in the press conference. Jets kind of said, hey, I've never really had a real serious injury. And Hunter was saying, like, I've had that same injury, and I kind of had to tell him, like, it just sucks. That's the way what you're feeling is how it feels.
What do we have to do to make Paula not the first round?
I don't know.
Bulldozer.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's that story? I think it was about Hangtown, actually.
The track isn't much fun. It does suck. It gets rough.
It's not even that. My thing is it doesn't really allow for good racing because like there's not a lot of passing, and every time Tomac tried to push, like the bike jumps out of a rut or like the rut, it just seems hard to get real good racing there.
No, I agree, and I think most of the racers will say that. But I mean, okay, so you're saying put Paulo, which we're saying is not one of the best tracks, in the middle of the season? What?
It'd be worse because it'd be hotter.
I would say just don't go there.
Yeah,
where are you gonna go?
I think most people agree with you.
In an ideal world, we would go back to Glen Helen, but
I don't think that's going to happen.
I know that's not going to happen. So somewhere else.
Yeah,
there's nowhere else in
Mammoth?
SoCal. Mammoth can't hold it.
Yeah.
It already barely holds that amateur national. You have to like carpool into it. Seriously.
Yeah, fair enough.
Freestone?
Oh,
I mean, I'd rather it be a freestyle.
That's a whole nother thing. I'm still so mad that was the Texas track.
Me too.
Money speaks sometimes.
It has gotten a lot. I like it a lot more now than back then.
Well, all right. A little bit about 250s first, and then we'll kind of do like disappointments, etc. But Hayden did what we thought he was going to do. Was there any surprises, any disappointment in what happened in the 250 rate?
Can I rephrase that?
Yep.
Hayden did what he's expected to do.
Okay. What did I say?
What we thought he would do.
Well, I think, okay. Explain the difference?
Like, yeah, we thought he would, but I think it also
I
is.
expected him to. I guess I meant it in the same way. But
Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking like he's like, I'm not going to say he's expected to go perfect season, but almost.
Yeah. And okay. Who's more likely to go perfect season?
Jet
or Hunter? I mean,
Jet.
Jet or Hayden, I'm sorry.
Jet.
Yeah.
I think Hayden.
It's close.
I think Chase
Hayden
or Eli are more likely to beat Jet.
I guess.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that.
I guess I was looking at it from the point of Hayden's more aggro. Something may happen.
Yeah, he seems to be pretty damn smart. He just kind of bided his time and like, all right, I'm going to go now.
Yeah, he has.
He reminds me of Baggett.
He has matured a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe you're right.
He's more mature outdoors.
You think he gets a chance no matter what in that first moto?
Yeah, I kind of do.
Yeah, I do.
I
too.
think he was just kind of waiting.
Hymas looked good.
He did.
That's the best I've ever seen Hymas look.
All right, so we got a little bit before we got to get Grant Harlan on. Let's. Okay, so last week I already said this. I said during who will leave disappointed. I said Hunter. I was absolutely wrong. Scotty, you said AP.
I was wrong.
And TJ said Justin Cooper could be disappointed. You can see it either way. He kind of threw Justin Cooper in both. So let's going into, well, actually, who do you think had the worst day, 450 and 250,
Well,
at
besides
Fox?
Chase?
Yeah, let's take Chase out. That's too obvious.
Jeremy Martin.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
I didn't expect him to be like close or in top 5 by any means. Or you're like, he hasn't really rode like hardly at all, but I expected him to be closer than that.
Okay, so
maybe I'm wrong to think that.
I jokingly almost said, "Oh, I might put him on my podium." So clearly, I thought he was going to do better than that. But I would say I'm more I feel like a worse day was Levi Kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kitchen.
Now I think he threw a chain in the second moto,
He
but
did.
1038, he didn't look very good all day. He didn't do anything that was like. I expected him to stand out. Than Jeremy.
I don't think he did very good at Paula any time he's raced there though.
Wasn't
I can't remember. Maybe I'm misremembering.
Yeah, wasn't last year the one that was they didn't give us the results till late?
Yeah, it was Deegan and the Kitchen thing.
Levi, I think, was on the podium last year.
So yeah, I guess you're right. But maybe I'm just misremembering.
I expected more out of Levi than I actually did Jeremy.
I expected.
So for me, Levi's the guy. But J Mart was on my list. Faulkner's on the list. Like there's a bunch of guys.
I expected Levi to be like where Shimoda was.
Okay,
somewhere around there.
So do you are you changing?
Yeah,
you're gonna go with Levi.
I mean, Levi did have a bad day. I guess Jeremy.
But Jeremy's results were so much worse.
Yeah, I guess Jeremy didn't
but,
really have anything to
really
expect.
Have too much,
I probably shouldn't have expected him to be better than that.
Me either, probably.
So
MotoXpod@gmail.com. Let us know your thoughts on this. Scotty, do you have somebody that kind of stands out?
Well, I'll tell you that who did better than I thought that they would, and I can go coin flip on Anderson and RJ.
Yeah.
Well, we're doing disappointment right now.
Well, I'm too positive, man. I'm not disappointing anybody. Everybody did a great job.
Okay. All right. How about this as a whole? Staying with the 250 class. Triumph Racing as a whole.
Oof. That was a bad day.
Listen, like Mikel, wasn't bad.
Yeah.
He wasn't as good as I thought he would be. But then, Austin wasn't very good at all. Didn't score any points. Jordan Smith barely scored points. Styles is still hurt. I mean, he tried.
First moto, he didn't. I think he was right there with Faulkner when he went out.
Yeah, I think he did 2 laps or 1 lap.
Okay.
So
I didn't know that he was still hurt.
And then, of course, Jalik is still hurt. So, yeah, as a team.
Yeah, it was a bad day.
As a team, poor try. But I think overall, all right, let's move to positivity for Scotty.
I'll say my to give you an answer, I would say didn't do a whole lot worse than I expected, but I didn't see Anderson getting Prado at the end.
Yeah.
I thought Prado would be a little bit closer. Yeah, Jason was way better than I expected. Right. I thought he was going to be like 10th, 11th.
Sticking with 250s for a minute. Seth Hatmaker 7th and Ty Masterpool 10th, I believe. Am I looking? Hang on. Nope. Let me get to 250s. Yeah. So Ty led for a minute and then dropped back. And then, so he went, 7:15. Not great.
It's better than I expected.
Hatmaker 8.7. Not bad. I wanted more out of him, but that's okay.
Ty still gets an award for absolutely sending it on that roller at the beginning of the first moto.
But okay, so we kind of have, those are some guys that I feel like probably had a bad day, disappointed day. Overly positive then, let's go with that. Guys that did better than expected. For me, Shimoda for sure. Probably Beaumer.
Yeah, he looked good.
I think Shimoda's the one that really stands out for me was better than I expected. And I kind of feel like maybe he can stay up in that area. I don't know that he's going to give Hayden a run for anything, but he could. I do think Joe might be able to stay a consistent podium guy. Does anybody stand out for you as a positive weekend, more than you expected? 250s?
250s?
Yeah, let's stick with 250s.
Yeah, Shimoda looked a lot better than I expected. Let me go back and look at the results.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Scotty.
Shimoda. I mean, honestly, AP and Hunter did a lot better than I expected.
Okay. What did you think AP was going to do? I don't remember what you said.
I just didn't think that he was going to. I thought he was going to maybe not get good starts and then like work his way up to like fifth, sixth, seventh, somewhere around there. But I didn't think he was going to be as good as Justin Cooper, and he was kind of better than that. So
Chase, it's fine if you did, if somebody didn't just stand out.
No. I was just looking at. I had something pulled up for the 450s. We were trying to stay on 250s. Marchbanks, he did pretty well. Hymas, that first half of the first moto, that's the best I've ever seen him ride.
Okay,
I'd say he did. He was doing better than I anticipated him coming in with everybody being kind of healthy. And where everybody kind of stacked up. I didn't expect him being there.
I kind of thought he'd be top 3 or 4. I don't know if I had him in my top 3. I'd have to. I can have it right here. Let's see. Who did I pick? Yeah, I had him 3rd.
Okay.
Diggs Vial Hymas is who I picked. But okay. All right. Let's switch gears for a minute because we've got Grant coming up. Let's do the ProX Vital MX Fantasy recap real fast. ProX is rooted in racing from motocross to off-road and supporting teams such as Ampro, Yamaha, Pro Circuit, Kawasaki, and SLR Honda. They've been supplying quality components for almost 50 years, from complex jobs like an engine rebuild to simple maintenance, including filters, chains, and sprockets. ProX aims to bridge the gap between OE quality and affordability. You can find ProX at your local dealer or visit pro-x.com and search for your parts for your bike. If you guys aren't playing the Vital MX fantasy game, we'd love for you to sign up, join the MotoXpod League, and play this game with us. Okay, so I got 198 points. My team pretty well sucked. Just so you guys know, the winner of our league, the MotoXpod League, was Valerie 3258 with 313 points.
Yeah, because of the double moto scores.
Yep, she crushed me. I assume Valerie is a chick. I would have to assume.
Yeah, she was 1 point off the high score.
Yeah. But so my team, though, I had Cooper Webb had a bad moto. So guys that I had that were rough. J Mart was on my team. Parker Ross was on my team. Marchbanks. But yeah, it didn't go so well. What'd you get, Chase?
I got 222. I was 603 overall.
I don't like you right now. Okay, Scotty.
Yeah, I got 199. I had Chase.
You got 1 point more than me? Damn it.
Yeah,
Damn it.
Jordan Smith kind of hurt me.
Yeah, I didn't have Jordan. I think I had Jordan on my Pulp League. But look, sign up for this game, man. It's free. You can play with us. Yeah, you can play with us. We like to be played with. So we can play this game. We can talk trash. You can email us and talk smack if you want. MotoXpod MotoXpodshow@gmail.com. Let's see. There was the Atlas Vision brace. Let's do that real quick. I don't know. I got about 5 minutes to try to do this. I'm gonna pull this thing out of the box.
Knee braces, right?
Yeah, chest protector.
Is that a chest
Easy.
protector?
That wasn't for public. All right, so this, if you're on YouTube,
This is a sweet chest protector.
I'm trying to put it on. I still got all the tags in it. There we go. This is the Vision neck brace or neck compression brace. So we did an email giveaway. We got a whole bunch of emails. I asked for a lot of emails, and we got them. So thank you for that. Hopefully we keep those going. We'd like to get, even when we're not giving stuff away, we love to get all these emails. We like to get feedback. We like to get trash talking. We like to get ideas for our segments, et cetera, et cetera. So for the Atlas brace, we just kind of went through and I read all the stories, and then I picked a few of the ones that we got and put them in a hat, and I picked a couple out. And here are the winners. These are Brandon Geese is the first winner. I hope I said that right. Giese, Geese.
It's probably Geis.
Might be Geis. I did email him, so he knows. But here's his email. I used to wear a Liat 5.5, and I just couldn't get comfortable in it, so I stopped wearing it. And my wife gets upset at me for not wearing it because she is an EMT and does a lot of motor races and has seen a lot. I really believe in the neck brace research, but I just need something comfortable. So, Brandon, you're the winner of one of these. Might be the one I have on. You might get this one in the mail.
It's definitely the one he has on.
You might get you might get an empty box if I forget to put it back in there. But we will do our best to get that out. So thank you for that. And the other winner is Michael Jarasco. Let me find that email.
That's a hell of a last name.
Jarasco?
Jarasco.
I like it. It's kind of cool. What's up, Dark? How you doing? I was listening to your podcast this morning on my way home from work. I'm interested in the Atlas brace giveaway. As a father of two and a blue-collar worker, I feel naked without my neck brace. I've never tried anything other than the Liat braces. I ran the same one from 2012 until last year when I got a used Liat 4.5. I have definitely felt them restricting my head movement. Thanks for your consideration, buddy. Hope to see you at some GNCCs this year. You should definitely try to make it to Snowshoe 1 year soon. It's a blast. Sincerely, Michael Jarasco. So both those guys know. I feel like there was one more I wanted to read you. Let's see if I can find it.
Are all three of them getting one?
No, two are getting one. Those are the two that are getting one.
Check y'all's mailbox for the next 3 years.
Yeah, I think they've already responded to me on both of them. Justin Owens. What'd you say? Check what? Okay. I like hearing about the new style neck braces. I tried the original Liat 18 years ago, but couldn't wear it long. Being an older version guy now, protection is important. Love the show. Keep up the good work. So Justin, I read your email. You didn't actually win one, but I thought your email was good. So I was just kind of giving an example of some others that read or that sent in. I appreciate the nice words about the show, et cetera, et cetera. Before we get Grant on, here's what I want to say, though, to our email sender-inners. What's the word I'm looking for? Participants, there we go. Okay, so first I said, you guys don't seem to want to win anything. You don't really, maybe nobody's listening, I don't know. But then I got all these emails, and certain people didn't follow the instructions. So as you guys said, I got an email. Somebody wanted, I want to win those Atlas knee braces. Bro, I mean, Atlas doesn't make knee braces, but we did talk about knee braces. So there was probably some confusion. But another guy wanted the Atlas chest protector.
It's your fault.
Because we had an email about chest protectors, you might remember, a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So I apologize if there was any confusion.
They emailed, bro. You can't, just take your wins.
Yeah, I'm stoked on that. I am really stoked on that. I'm looking for the email that the dude sent responding to, bear with me, guys. Bear with me. I know this is great radio. I don't know where it is.
TJ's driving in the chat.
He's in the chat and he's driving?
Well,
hope he crashes. Oh, okay. All right, before we get Grant on, last one. So Tim West was the guy that sent in an email, I think, 2 weeks ago, asking about chest protectors. And last week, TJ and I talked about chest protectors and which ones we thought would be right for him. He was talking about, having some rib protection ideas. And he said, thanks for the feedback on the Alpine Stars A10 V12 chest protector. I think I'm sold on it and appreciate the help in deciding. I plan on purchasing it this weekend. If you wanted a review on the Atlas neck brace for my Woods rider, I'd be glad to help. So yeah, sorry, Tim. You weren't one of the ones in the drawing, but we do appreciate you getting back with us. We're glad that we could help you out. And yeah, we appreciate all the input. So we'll get to a bunch of other emails here in a minute. Either one of you guys wear a neck brace or have ever worn a neck brace? Or
I did. It probably saved me when I broke my femur.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was full scorpion and broke my femur. It was a pretty good video. I wish I still had it.
So you landed, how'd you break a femur when you landed?
We talked about this before.
Okay, so
Oh, yeah.
went over front.
Hey, we got our first guest
Okay.
on. So
Yeah, it
we're
doesn't
going to get
matter.
to our first guest of the night. Yeah, nobody cares, Chase. That
You
got.
asked.
I didn't ask. I don't remember.
Okay.
Pull the audio.
Whatever,
From that. Pull the audio. All right. Our first guest of the night is brought to you by Racetech, which is the world's largest aftermarket motorcycle suspension modification company. And they have over 40 years of experience providing factory level suspension to the everyday rider. I was just trying to waste time, Chase. So
You're good.
Racetech is also known for building a reliable world-class engine, and it requires a combination of state-of-the-art equipment and experienced, knowledgeable technicians. Racetech provides quality precision engine services using the best equipment and processes in the industry. Check out racetech.com, find your local service center, get to know your local tech. Tonight, Racetech brings us from the Gizmo Mods Rock River Yamaha team, our buddy, Grant Harlan. What's up, Grant?
How you doing, Dark?
We're doing good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, man. Just sitting here in SoCal, enjoying the weather.
Well, let's start with that. What made you move to California, man? You were out here in Texas forever, and the next thing I know, it was your girlfriend?
Yeah, she got a job with Beta, so we moved out here to Paso Robles, and maybe not the most ideal location for a dirt bike racer, but we've been making it work, and long story short, that's about it, really.
I get it. That's fair, man. You got to do what you got to do when you fall in love, Grant. But
yeah, and I've been in Texas for a while, like you said, and I thought it would be a good idea to maybe switch it up a little bit with the SoCal ride.
it's interesting because most people do the opposite. They're leaving SoCal going to Texas or Florida. You said, to hell with it. They're all leaving. I'll go there.
Yeah, I mean, the little bit that I've been down here riding for the Nationals so far, like, there's clearly a lot of speed that I need to come up with because you haul ass.
Yeah. Well, I think you did pretty damn good at Fox, and I want to get to that. But before we get to Fox, we really haven't talked to you in a bit. So your 2025 Supercross season, best finish was 17th, 27th overall. Not the ideal season for Grant Harlan. What can you take away positive from it? Where was your mindset at the end of the year?
I mean, honestly, the biggest positive I can take away is the last main event. I honestly should have gotten 15th, but I did a bonehead move trying to pass for 15th and basically RJ'd myself and Harrison. We both went down, and I think he got up to 17th and I got 19th, and I was a little bit bummed on my decision making there because, I mean, at that point in the race, like, if I would have waited a turn or two, I probably would have been fine. But I was like, season best finish, sign me up.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, obviously threw it away. And the year itself wasn't stellar. I think, I hate to say I had bad luck, but because there were some situations I put myself in. But San Diego, I kind of threw it away for myself for a main event, and then Daytona, Barsha helped me out in the heat race, and,
right.
A-Rod in the Seattle LCQ. So there's a couple main events where I had opportunities and either got some help or helped myself by putting myself in that situation. So I mean, there was more positives than I probably felt like there was after the year, but definitely not what I wanted.
Didn't you eat shit at Indy too? Like, just lost control or something? I can't remember. I feel like something happened to Indy.
Oh yeah, I bumped bars with the guy next to me, and like, immediate tank slap, and it basically twisted the throttle that I wasn't expecting, and corner and tacoed myself. So yeah, just those little silly things where it's like, we'll get them in the next weekend, and the next weekend something else like that happens, and you're like, what the heck, dude? What's going on?
Yeah,
but
go ahead.
A lot of it, obviously, it's a little bit luck based sometimes when you're racing Supercross, but I think there are some of those where I put myself in a situation for something to happen, and Yeah, just need to be better in that aspect.
So is that what you'll take into 26 Supercross is kind of like, all right, I have to put myself in better situations. Really, that's what it comes down to?
Yeah, better situations and
better starts.
I mean, my starts were okay. The issue was like heat races, I would just not ride very well, and then I'd put myself in the LCQ. And then even if I rode good in the LCQ and something happened, like, I shouldn't be in the LCQ in the first place. I should just get it done in a heat race because I put myself in a good spot and didn't make it happen. So,
okay. You two, do you guys have any questions for him about Supercross before we move to Nationals?
No, I'm good.
You're good? All right. So Grant, yeah, I was, we're in that group text together and you kind of said a few things of like, what did I write? Maybe I don't have it anymore. Is what you said in a text. Your day didn't start off well, but I feel like you found yourself in kind of where the Grant Harlan that we know and love. Was it just struggle, just changing to outdoors and just first day, kind of first race jitters a little bit?
A little. Honestly, I went out for first practice and like, I didn't feel like I was setting the world on fire, but I was like, I feel like one of these laps has got to be decent. And I come back and I think there was 30 guys in the A group and I was 26 and I was like, oh, wow. Like I knew it wasn't like P10, but I didn't think I'd be on the bubble in the first round. Like, and I think with the combined between A and B, I was 35th and I was like, this isn't good. Like, this is really not good. Obviously, the field is pretty fast right now, but 35th is not good to start at Paula. But yeah, I got a little bit better in the second one. And honestly, I thought I was still going to be deeper than I was in qualifying because I only went like 3 seconds faster and it was still pretty low on the list. But 24th, I was like, you know what? We'll make that work. Got a pep talk from Steve, which I think, I don't know if that was between practices or between practice and the races, but clearly it worked because, I felt really good in the motos and I think I started around 30th in both of them. So
yeah. At one point you said like, I'm just a couple spots out of being in the LCQ. And then I know Steve said in the text that he came by and talked to you. What did he actually say to you? Cause I saw the photo. So he sent Grant photos of Steve rode Paula.
Yeah. The day before, He knew all the lines. Yeah.
He sent Grant photos of him riding, but what did he actually say to you?
I can't disclose this information.
Oh,
I can't.
Okay, great. All right.
Top secret.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, yeah, in the end though, you rode really well, but looking back on the weekend, like how do you feel about Fox as a whole? Did you like the track? Most people don't. What could you have done better?
So I feel like I was one of the few guys that chose not to run the scoop.
Yep. I want to ask about that, but go ahead.
And I think that is kind of why my starts were so bad. First moto I was outside and kind of got pushed wide with a not great jump. And going in that next corner, everyone just funnels inside of you, and then you're kind of blocked off. And then the next one, I actually was okay. I was right behind Cody Schock going into the first corner. And then I followed him to the outside in the next one and almost lost the front. And when I got myself regained, I looked up and I was like, oh, there's the entire field in front of me. This sucks. But as far as the track goes, dude, I love the track. I was having a great time. Top 3 nationals of the year.
Wow. Okay.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, you're right. It is the first place it's been heard.
First and only.
I don't know. Hayden might say the same.
Oh, yeah.
That actually kind of changes a little bit of what I was going to ask because for me, it would seem like it's hard to really gauge where you're at in outdoors based off of the first round at Paula. It's almost like when you go to Hangtown, then you can really judge where you're at, where the bike's at, that kind of things. But sounds like unless we fell into the falls of your satire, then that the bike was good and you'd be able to learn a lot. So what are you taking into the next weekend?
Honestly, I'm not touching the bike at all. Really all I have to do is get a better start and qualify better.
Okay.
Coming for the first moto helps with that start. And then, getting a good finish in the first moto helps the second moto. And Yeah, I think if I start up in that 10 to 15 range, I think we'll be good. Because I like Hangtown too.
Okay, that's good. Good to know.
Yeah.
Well, before you go, Chase, are you gonna go to the scoop then, or are you not comfortable on the scoop?
I think with Hangtown, I don't need to run the scoop because the start's not as long. Paula start is the start at Paula is so long, and it's so deep, like you really need it. Where Hangtown, unless you're all the way outside, it's a pretty short start.
Can you please, Grant, look before you make this decision and see if everybody else is running the scoop, and not base this off that you think you don't need the scoop. If everybody else is using the scoop, please go to the scoop, Grant.
I mean, look, I know the scoop hurt me on the start, but the second moto I went from 26th to 11th in like 5 laps.
But wouldn't you rather go from like 17th to 10th?
But the question is do I ride that? Like, do I ride as good? What if I start 11th and I get 15th? I'm gonna feel like that moto sucks.
Okay, Grant. All right, man.
It's all about perspective.
We're gonna do it your way until it doesn't work, and then we're gonna change some things.
Hey, look, my goal is to get a good start without the scoop, and then pass guys with the scoop that are in front of me.
Okay. All right, we're gonna try this one more time your way.
I'm with Grant. I'm honestly over like how this whole scoop conversation. Like I hate that it's so prevalent for one part and not. I don't know. It's really annoying that it's the only thing that we talk about.
I don't like it either, but you can't argue that it gets a better start.
Yeah. Look. If the track is like not super hard and dry, I'll consider the scoop. But Paula with the square edge bumps, the weird holes and shit that you can't see, like I'm taking the non-scoop.
I don't know, man. It looked like Jet had it figured out.
I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to run it out there either. I don't know that I would have lined up either. But
as good as Jet Spike did, I would also do whatever it took to get a whole shot.
Yeah.
You know, clearly they have something figured out.
Yeah.
But not saying my setup's bad or anything, because clearly I was comfortable and I was happy. But I don't know if a privateer Yamaha is quite at the level of a factory Honda.
You need a button, Grant.
Fair point.
You gotta get the button.
Fair point. Go ahead, Chase.
So it's been a while since you had that gnarly pelvis break. How was it coming back from that? And is like going forward, was there anything in your riding that you had to change to not like have any problems with it?
Honestly, riding is usually easier on me than other stuff. But it's been almost 2 years now, and I mean, generally it's pretty good for the most part. Obviously, some range of motion stuff still isn't quite there, but I didn't really have to change anything riding wise. Simply just like, feet stay on the pegs and you just stand up and sit down. Occasionally put your leg out. So there wasn't really anything that like hindered me with it, besides maybe some strength issues. But like I said, being that we're 2 years out from that, I think we're all good on that side of it.
That's good to hear. I want to talk to you about training. We just talked about you moving from Texas to California, and here I feel like the tracks are better, in my opinion. So riding here, in my opinion, is better. But off the bike stuff, what do you tend to do? What do you like to do the most? Do you pedal? Do you, are you just a lot of gym stuff? Like what type of training do you enjoy doing the most?
Honestly, like if I had to pick, I'd probably choose gym stuff. But I know, like, at least for me personally, like if I was to go do like a weight session or a cycle, the weight session would take more out of me. So I usually stick to that 1 day a week, 2 max. Mm-hmm. I'm keeping it a little bit lighter. And then, I mean, I enjoy cycling. I've been trying to get on the road more instead of actually just sitting in my room on the trainer, because, it's obviously easier to do that and a little bit more mindless. But I've been trying to hit the road more, and honestly, I enjoy it. I just need to get out and do it more. But yeah, as far as training, I started working with Davey, partly because of Benny and Juju and the results I've been seeing out of them, like midway through Supercross after a couple bad races. And I'm like, you know what? I need to change things up. Need to have somebody at the races to like yell at me and kind of get me out of my own way. So that's been good.
Yeah, Grant, speaking of training and riding and going from Texas, every track that I've been to in Texas that has the caliber of guys like you, it's usually like a divided practice where you guys are kind of out with the least intermediates at the slowest. But I've never rode in Cali, but I have heard a lot that there's usually at the practice tracks, they just kind of let everybody go out all at once. Have you experienced that? And if you do have to experience that, like, does that kind of mess up your flow, or how do you feel about having to ride with people that maybe they've never rode before?
So honestly, up until today, I've had pretty decent luck with like going to the practice track. And, obviously you go to Apollo on a Tuesday. I think a few weeks ago, they did start splitting it up. I don't know if they're going to keep doing that, but you go to Apollo on a Tuesday and there's 65s, 85s, all the way up to that guy, out there. And obviously it gets a little crazy. But I think today, speaking of that, I think Apollo was rented out by one of the teams or a couple of the teams or whatever.
Yeah.
And went to Glen Helen and it was packed. And I got the full experience there where I was like, wow, I can see why guys don't like to ride here on a Tuesday, because it's quite scary, honestly. But I feel like for me, like, practice days are important, but I don't take them as like, if I don't have a good week of practicing, like I'm gonna suck on the week, or let me go put my time in, do some maintenance, try and work on a few things that I need to improve on, like sprint speed or whatever, and just get to the weekend and do my job on the weekend. Like, I don't feel the need to go out on a practice day on Tuesday and kill myself for no reason. Although I did hit a rock today and my face, but whatever.
Was it over there along that edge, that wall? I don't like, after the second mini Talladega, you make the right, the left. There's always those rocks by that hill that washes down. Is I guess where I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
Was that where it was?
Yeah, those rollers after Talladega, you make that left. I was coming out of that corner. It was like right where you like kind of get off the gas to get on the brakes.
Yeah.
My front end hit a rock and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I hate that place.
Yeah, go from a rock to a YZ65. It's like, where do I go?
What do I want to hit first?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to go back to the stamina thing. The reason I was asking you about like your training is these motos are long, right? 30 minutes, and I know you ride for this stuff, but to be able to push in the final 10 minutes or final 5 minutes of a professional outdoor race takes a lot of stamina. So do you feel like you're there where you can make a push at the end, or are you still kind of working on outdoor prep, stamina prep?
I feel like I'm in a pretty good spot. I think if I was where I really need to be, I would have a little bit more sprint speed at the start, which is kind of always been like my biggest downfall, is not being able to like separate myself from the pack and stay with the front runners that have like really high pace.
Yeah.
So that's something I always tend to work on and was working on the day. But that second moto this weekend, like at one point, I think I got 4 or 5 laps to go, and every single lap of the motos, I felt like there was somebody right on my rear wheel, and my only goal was just don't get past. But I got that like 4 or 5 to go, and I was like, I looked back, I was like, you know what, who's been behind me this whole race? And sure enough, it was RJ, and I was like, oh shit. So those last couple laps, I was like full send, because I did not want the RJ experience, and was able to hold them off, which is cool.
Yeah, that's impressive, man. I'm proud of you, because we were, in the group chat, we're kind of talking about you and we're watching you and we want to see you do well. Now you do have another chat member, I think, coming back this weekend. I think Benny's going to be back this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. Is that matter to you? Is that a goal that we got to beat Benny?
I mean, look, Benny has never raced the bait outdoors. I know like the team has raced, like they were at the Stopwatch Nationals and the 2-stroke Nationals and stuff. So they have a little bit of experience with the bike outdoors. But I really don't know where he's going to be at. He's going to be good. It's Benny Bloss. He's insanely fast. But I mean, if I see him on the track, I'm gonna be fired up to beat him.
Okay.
So, if he goes out there and gets 8th, I wouldn't be surprised either.
Right, that's true. Yeah, you never really know what you're going to get out of Benny, and he is capable. You're correct. Let me ask you this: your girlfriend's media manager for Beta, so who does she cheer for?
Me, of course.
Okay, good answer. Yeah. Good answer. What'd you have, Scotty?
I was, Grant. We talked about like the scoop, and we could have maybe had a better start, and you had to work your way up. When I'm looking at the results, though, man, 14-11 for 12th overall. Like, is that kind of aware around where you wanted to be? What would be your ultimate goal to get to in the upcoming rounds?
Yeah, so honestly, I think my goal coming into the race was obviously scoring points is the number one goal to make SMX, but I figured I'd be around that 15 mark, and I think that first moto, like Webb and Sexton, if they finish the race, I'd probably end up 16th, which kind of puts me around there. And that second moto, honestly, like, I think I exceeded my expectations a little bit. But even looking at lap times, like I said, if I can start up with that lead group and kind of get the pace, I think by the end of the races, especially with the heat that we're getting this weekend, I think we can be in that top 10.
I like it. Okay. Scotty, is that question for the up on the
I had played it earlier.
Yeah, put it up because I'm gonna bring this up. So I was kind of thinking about, like, we always put questions up on our screen for people that are on the YouTube, Grant, while riders are on. And what I put up on there was like, what privateers are you fans of, and do you kind of look to results versus personality when it comes to privateers, right? Because you guys don't necessarily get a lot of coverage in races. What do you think makes, like, you're doing vlogs and stuff now, do you find that having a personality and kind of putting yourself out there brings more fans to your tent, to your autograph line versus a good result, or do you even think about it?
I mean, obviously is cool. I really enjoy it. Like, I'm not the most popular privateer in the world, but when kids come up or people come up and they say they're cheering for me and they've been watching me since I first turned pro and stuff, like, that stuff's super cool to me. And honestly, I wish I could be a little bit more personable on the side of doing a vlog, or maybe being a little bit more active on social media or Instagram or YouTube or whatever. But I'm not really exactly how I roll. I mean, like I said, I wish I could, but and maybe one day I will get there. But for me, like, I like racing a dirt bike because when I do good, it feels good. And those weekends that don't go well, like, I probably take it a little bit too personally. But yeah, I mean, the fan aspect and having a good presence on socials, I would say, is probably higher on the list of getting more fans than just a good result.
And as a privateer, when you're looking for help, whether it be with Gizmo Mods, Rock River, or another privateer team, do those teams, when you're having discussions, do they kind of say, "Oh, look, hey, you have this many followers," or do they even talk about that at all when it comes? Because it is like a guy like AP, right, has a huge following, and I think that absolutely helps a guy like him when it comes to contracts. Have you noticed at all during contract type discussions?
I mean, I can be quite honest here. There's not many contract discussions over here.
Yeah. Okay.
I wish there was. I wish I had choices to pick from sometimes, but I mean, maybe, but also, like, if you're gonna be popular, to get, I guess, contracts in terms of teams, you do have to be fast, right? Like, you can't just have a good following and not make the motos or night shows or main events or whatever. So I feel like AP's one of those guys where he's super personable and he's a gnarly dirt bike rider.
Sure.
So he's in a good spot with that. Where I feel like, at least for me personally, like I said, it's hard for me to be super personable and do the socials kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But also, I feel like it would be really difficult for me to balance that on top of doing the work during the week and on the weekends to be good and get the results that I want.
Okay, that's fair. That makes sense. All right, last one for you. First of all, Grant Harlan Night brought to you by Race Tech. All right, when I go to or any of the guys in the studio, we're just average vet guys or whatever, right? We go to the track and a local fast guy or a John Short or a Grant Harlan are at the track. We're like, holy shit, it doesn't make sense that they're going that fast. It just doesn't compute. So I assume when you're on the track and a Jet Lawrence or a Cooper Webb or one of those, is it kind of the same thing? You're like, what the F? Or can you kind of see like, oh, I see what they're doing. I just have to figure out how to do it. Cause like, I know that I can never figure that out no matter how fast I don't have it to go the next level. Is it similar for you or do you kind of see and go, okay, I think I can figure that out?
Yeah, I think like I watched the races back last night and because I was a little bit curious, sometimes there are tracks where there's a lot of line choices and sometimes it's like, there are races where I've had where I get past a bunch and I'm just taking bad lines. The guys aren't faster than me. They just have better lines.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, you know what? I'm curious to see what Jet and Eli were doing because that whole second moto was, I don't think the camera went to anyone else.
Yeah, barely, yeah.
So I was like, all right, I had the lines that were clearly working for me pretty well. Let me see what those guys are doing. And honestly, like, I would say I was pretty similar to them on line choices. I think they had a couple different options that maybe they were just doing a little bit better. But for the most part, the lines that we were doing all the same, like they just do it better. And I can see how they do it and all that. But it also is hard. Like I said, my privateer Yamaha is pretty darn good, but it's no factory Honda or Star Yamaha, right? Like some of the stuff that they can do, the speed that they can carry, they do have a little bit of a motorcycle advantage, but also they're just really good. So
right.
I go back and watch and I see, and sometimes too, I go back and watch and I'm like, oh, I wish I would have done that because that would have just been a huge advantage. Just this simple line change would have changed a lot of my race. So, I like to watch and see what they do and try and learn from it. But they do sometimes do things where I'm like, yeah, I have no idea how that's possible, especially in Supercross.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's ridiculous. I can't even watch that and try and do it because it's not possible.
Exactly. Yeah. I rode Sunday and I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to stand up through some of these outside turns like Jet did. And it just, it's like I'm sitting instantly. It's like there's no way I'm making this turn standing. It just, kind of same, but not the same. I just can't quite figure it out. And I don't,
not going fast enough.
I simply don't have the talent, period. That's really what it comes down to. But Grant, dude, great seeing you be successful this weekend. I was a little worried after how you were commenting in the morning, so I'm glad it worked out. Let's improve this weekend. But if the scoop thing, if it doesn't go well, I'm gonna be calling you and we're gonna be changing things. All right?
Yeah, but then like, okay, so if I don't go scoop this weekend and my starts don't get better, then Colorado, and do I really want to run a scoop in Colorado? I don't know,
dude. That uphill fucking start with like at elevation. Yeah, you need all the help you can get.
Dude, that track is brutal on a scoop. I don't know. We'll see. How about I just go get starts with the AT82 rear?
Okay.
And scoop.
All right, let's do that. I'll be pulling for you, man. So I'm sure we'll be in the text talking and all that good stuff. But really appreciate you coming on tonight, man. It's always a pleasure. Enjoy that Southern California lifestyle, man.
Will do. Thanks, boys.
Okay, we'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye. It's Grant Harlan tonight, brought to you by Race Tech. He wasn't having it. It's like, I mean, obviously I'm not a coach, but I feel like even if, he's working with Davey Millsaps. Like, I'm like, if Davey says go to the scoop, he was like, he just wasn't having it. He didn't want it. He clearly doesn't want to use a scoop.
It really does. I mean, I know, like, what are you going to do? It is what it is. But, like, it really kind of irritates me that a tire choice, like, dictates pretty much the whole racing program that we see.
It's like a big part of it right now.
I know, but it's I don't know. I don't know what you do. I don't know what you change. I don't know if you outlaw it or whatever, or stop grading the start so deep. But it's kind of really annoying that it overshadows what we're actually there to watch.
Running the wrong tire in like F1 or MotoGP is the race.
Yeah, no, F1 has they all run the same shit.
The problem is they have 6 different options. We have 2, and there's one that's obviously better on the start, and it's just like.
It's just I get it. I know there's no really changing it. It's just irritating that it gets talked about so much.
I want to go back real quick and just thank Brady Sharon from Atlas for sending these braces. I've said before, Atlas is not a advertiser on this show directly, but they do a lot of advertising with Vital. And Brady didn't have to reach out and offer these braces up. So thank you to Brady. Really appreciate that. And I know Vital does. So, and so do I think the winners, hopefully. And again, hopefully you guys will keep sending emails on these topics. Let's jump into the X-Brand Forum check-in before we get to Drew Adams. X-Brand is your choice for clear vision and a leader in motocross and off-road goggles. X-Brand is used by many of the top GNCC riders, including the 2023 XC1 champion Craig DeLong, as well as motocross, supercross, and arena cross riders, including Kyle Chisholm, Freddie Norrin, Henry Miller, Michael Hicks, Richard Taylor, Jerry Robin Warham, and many more. Visit eksbrand.com or go to your local dealership and ask for X-Brand, distributed through WPS. You know who wasn't wearing X-Brand this weekend?
Harlan?
Chase.
Chase wasn't wearing X-Brand. Just saying. No, that's not fair. That's not fair to the
I knew what you were getting at.
Yeah,
but I didn't want to say
that's not fair to Aaron and the boys at Oakley, man. Look, everybody, we know that all equipment has failures for different reasons. It's certainly not a knock against Oakley.
We don't even know what happened.
Yeah, okay, so I've heard 2 different things.
Yeah,
we're jumping real quick. I heard the lens got knocked out, which very, very difficult to do.
I've seen that happen with just about every goggle company. Like I've seen it happen with.
It's really hard to do with those injection molded lenses these days.
Yeah, it doesn't happen as much as it used to, but I've seen it happen with like just about every goggle company.
But he could have. I also heard he might have had dirt in there, which I have rode where dirt's in my, and then it gets in your eye and it hurts and you can't see. So who knows? Maybe he'll. My thought process is if the lens got knocked out, we're never going to hear that. No. If he got dirt in him on accident, he might say, "Yeah, I messed up," but we probably won't ever hear. Regardless,
what's crazy?
Forum check-in.
Oh, what's crazy is that I was watching the race with one of my buddies, and
that is crazy.
Like we were talking about the goggles came off, and they were, is he going to go in, that kind of thing, and like it was getting to that point where like he's gonna have to pull in. He's gonna have to pull in. I was like he's done. And then, like, literally, like, as I was saying, he's done. He went over the jump and, like, just wadded. Like, well, yeah. He's pulling off now. Like,
and I think Jade had put on the board, like, next lap.
Yeah.
From what the announcer said. But, honestly, I don't feel like he should have went. Dude, I mean, you can get blinded pretty easily. Like, if a rock knocked the lens out, think about the next rock hitting your freaking eye.
Like, he was in... It was a tough situation because he was in a good position. He was in 3rd, I believe, when it happened. Or did he pass? I
think he was in 4th.
He'd gotten around Hunter.
When he crashed?
No, when he had the goggles came off.
Oh, yeah, it was like 3rd, 4th.
He passed Hunter, and then the goggles came off, and then Hunter got back around him. I guess if you were going to pull in, that's when you have to pull in because then you have more time to catch back up.
If you're going to pull in, you do it immediately.
Yeah, you need to do it right away. I'm sure that's a little bit of a panic mode, right? Like if I pull in, like
you had a long ways to go.
I know, but it's still a little bit of a panic mode. Like hell, throwing the goggles might have been a little bit of a panic mode.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know where his mindset was. If all I can just put myself in this hypothetical situation and
you would pull over if your iPad stopped playing.
Yeah, that sucks, dude. When the battery goes dead, like at a GNCC, I'm like, how can I finish?
That's crazy.
Well, I keep going. Stop.
Well, I know, but I just even have to have music. It's nuts.
I don't have to have music. I like to have music.
I'm pretty jealous of it.
Especially in a 2-hour ride like GNCC. The fact that it lasts 2 hours is awesome.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay. X-Brand Forum check-in. I gave you guys an option of 3 different ones. You're like, I want to do them all. So we'll see how much time we have. First one is titled on the Vital MX Forum, Jet's Bodyguard, posted by GBS. What was the deal on why Jet needed a bodyguard? The rumor I heard.
That was the whole email?
It's not an email. It's a form
question. Okay. That was the whole question?
Because this is the X Brand forum check-in.
Right. That was the whole.
What was the deal? There's actually 2 separate Jets Bodyguard forum threads. This was the first one that I saw, and I thought, let's talk about what I heard at the very least was that he was getting some threats. I don't know if they were death threats or just physical threats from people that were mad about the video that got posted about him saying a word he probably shouldn't have said, or he shouldn't have said when he was a few years younger, and they felt like, hey, might need a bodyguard. So that's the deal. That's all there is to it, really.
I mean, it's kind of what I would have guessed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so not that big of a deal. A little surprised they allowed him behind the bikes.
Yeah, that was surprised.
Wasn't that during press day though?
No,
that
was in the motos.
That was during the motos too. Like that was the only part that really surprised me was that they let him go down there behind the start.
Little odd. Like if Grant had said I need a bodyguard, would they allow that?
No,
I don't know. Right?
No.
It's a little odd, but yeah,
Grant also isn't worth millions of dollars to the series.
Would that
to the series?
That should not matter, right? If you are legitimately worried about somebody's safety, it should be for everybody.
True.
And we don't know that they wouldn't allow Grant Harlan to have a bodyguard. Just was odd.
Yeah.
But that is the reason. Do you guys have any thoughts, questions, anything before?
No.
Unfortunate situation that he found himself in, but that's where that's where you're at.
Okay, well do we want to talk about that situation?
No, not really.
I mean, it's up to you. It's your show.
I mean, it's kind of been touched on.
Yeah.
Like he said something he shouldn't have said.
Here's what I'm going to say. I think we've all said dumb things in our lives. We've all done dumb things. We talked about this when Hayden had his arrest issue. We've all done stupid things. I have for sure, as a younger kid, repeated an Eddie Murphy joke or a joke that has topics or words in it that are no longer considered appropriate. Now, that word has never really been considered appropriate, but it's certainly a bigger issue now than, say, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
We've all done dumb things. If you are going to judge Jet Lawrence, Hayden Deegan, Grant Harlan, or myself or anybody for one act like that, you need to take a look in the mirror. Right?
It's the cancel culture, man.
If Jet was to have multiple issues of like, oh, that's questionable, or oh, he shouldn't, or whatever, then okay, you can kind of see a pattern.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jet's just like Hayden, a dumb kid, man.
Yeah, and
doesn't mean it's okay, but don't destroy the guy or just totally bash the dude. Like he made a mistake.
Forgive before you just cancel somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then you got, I don't know, the whole agent keeping a video like that, which...
Look, you said some things before the show, like maybe he feel like he held on to it for a reason. I don't know, man. I've got videos on my phone.
I mean, I guess, but like...
I'm not going to go there.
That is an aspect of it, though.
Pisses me off.
The circumstances that it came up was a little bit out of context, and I don't think it necessarily was fair to Jet. Like, I mean, not saying that's not condoning anything that he did or said, but the fact that it was brought up in a little bit of a petty argument kind of thing, is I think a little unwarranted.
It does feel a little bit like if you're fighting with your girlfriend or your wife, and you're like, you say something to hurt them on purpose, basically, like that you shouldn't, and later you're like, why did I bring that up? It's kind of that thing. It's like, oh, I like it. It's lashing out. That's basically what it was. All right, let's move on from that.
Yep.
Because I do want to try to get to Evan's Coolant emails. So 2 other ones that we have to choose from. Media embargo on Jason Anderson 21 ? Is one title. We already talked about the Sexton goggles. So I guess we're going media embargo on Jason Anderson, posted by Spudnik J45. Just listen to the 450 press conference, and this is from the Friday, I believe, press conference. Just listen to the 450 press conference. It seemed like everyone asked each rider the same standard questions, but no one dared to ask Anderson why he left Supercross early. The best we got was a pitiful, what have you been up to the past few weeks? To which Anderson naturally replied, just training and trying to get the blisters off. What a joke the media and the sport continues to be. Okay, so this is a continuous topic or thought process where the media is not doing their job. We suck. Why would you, be controlled by the riders or the teams? These are all kind of things I see all the time. I get emails and texts about why would you not bring this up? Why do we not know what's wrong with Chase Sexton already? Bro, like, we're limited to what we can get out of people. Yeah, we could go ask Jason Anderson that. We all know Jason Anderson. Jason's not going to answer with what we want him to answer with, right? For the most part. He's personal. He likes private. He likes to keep his stuff to himself. Yeah, I could if I had been there, I could have said, "Hey, Jason, what the F? Where you been?" And he'd be like, whatever he said here. Like, I just been riding. He's not going to answer.
Yeah.
And I could answer it. And then if I ask him a question that I know he's going to be uncomfortable with, the next time I want to ask him a question, maybe he might be like, I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah. Okay. Two things on that. First of all, we're a very small sport.
Yep.
You guys are in the positions that you are because of the relationships that you built with these guys. It's not more of just a foregone conclusion that they have to do media like in other sports where you're a news reporter for Dallas and you go to a Mavericks or a Cowboys game and you're in the press corral and they have to go through there and you have to do that. Like, you guys they don't have to have relationships with those players. They can ask them that things. Y'all can't, because you will lose the ability to talk to them. You will lose that connection that you have with them if you get too personal and push things where probably from something that they said off the record, that you're not going to get an answer anyways. Yeah. So why would you jeopardize your relationship with them? Mm-hmm. That's the first thing. The second thing is on the other side of all those news examples that I just gave, those guys 95% of the time don't get straight answers either.
Right.
It's usually some bull crap or some stuff they made up, or they go on to something else. So like, I don't really know what the expectations here is. Like you said, Anderson's would have told us if he felt comfortable in doing so.
I mean, okay, look at it like this. Your coworker takes 2 days off for mental health, which is kind of what happened here, basically. Do you ask them why they took it off?
It depends on how close I am with them and how relationship I have with them, but I'm not going to jeopardize
media
my work.
And athlete, you're not that close. You don't have that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And his private life is not my business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's my whole point.
Yeah.
That's the whole story.
Exactly.
He said it was mental, like it was for mental or whatever he said.
Yeah. If I had gone, if I was there and I went to Jason, and I said, "Hey, man, what's been going on the last couple of weeks or last couple of months?" He's not going to be mad at me for asking that question, but he's probably not going to answer it completely honest if it's personal, doesn't want it out there. And if I push, then it just doesn't. Our sport's not like other sports. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you'll have personal relationships with these guys.
Like, get over it. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, let's do Evan's Coolant. We've got 3 or 4 minutes. We'll do a couple of these emails. We'll come back to them after Drew Adams.
I always say that, and we never do.
Get a camera and a microphone and go ask him.
Last week I came back to stuff we didn't get
to because I berated you about it.
Okay. Evan's waterless coolant protects your engine because it always stays what, Scotty?
Liquid cooled.
Steam inside the engine creates hot spots and detonation, but with Evans, the metal is always
liquid cooled.
Used by HRC Honda, winning outdoors, Pro Motocross, Factory Beta USA, Benny Bloss coming back this week, and Pro Factory Yamaha, and many others. Regardless of sponsorship, Evans is in the bikes on the podium. All right, we're going to go to the first one here from Ryan Cox. Awesome. I'm 42, raced B-Class Moto in the early 2000s on a trusty YZ426 when they came out.
Oh, God.
Ugh.
A beast of a bike. Injuries in life has kept me away from riding for the last 15 years or so. With 100% support from my wifey, I'm building a YZ250 2T frame up now to race woods and eventually get back to moto. Taking it slow and doing things properly so I can show my kids how cool their dad used to be. Haha. Couldn't be more stoked to get back on a bike and rip. Some Atlas gear would be amazing. Again, didn't get picked as a winner, but the email itself, cool, man. That's a cool story. I like sharing that.
Send us some knee braces.
Thanks for the pod. I listened to them all. Love it. You guys crack me up. TJ sucks.
Hell yeah, dude.
Was that actually in there?
No.
Okay.
All right. This one's from Gary Cook. What a great show, brother. Thanks, Hulk. I wish I could have jumped in. I wish I could have jumped in on the topic of when to hang it up. I recently had a couple of gnarly injuries back to back, and it was great to hear different perspectives. I race with OTHG Bay Chapter. It would be cool to do a short segment on vet racing sometime. A lot of the riders don't know OTHG exists. I don't even know what that is. Google that or something if you can. OTHG motocross. Guys like you would crush at an OTHG event. Also, we would like to get some exposure for vet racing and let riders know that we have
Over the Hill gang.
Okay. We'd like to let riders know that we have a true beginner class, no sandbaggers. If you are ever interested in talking about the subject, that would be awesome. Gary, I'm going to save.
Sounds like our Moto Masters that we have
a little
here.
bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to save that email, Gary. Okay, it's 7:45, so I need to work on getting Drew on. Let me do that. And
Yeah, I think there's a old timers up in Oregon. Kiefer always talks about.
Yeah, I've heard about it.
Like
Is that the one that he does the advertisement for?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe so.
Yeah, the vet classes the vet races are kind of nice. You're in and out.
I love it.
Yeah,
you're done by
nice.
3 p.m.
Everybody's there.
Dude,
Everybody's
vet series for guys like us is great, especially like the Saturday
well,
one.
the tracks are usually more groomed for you because everybody's kind of in the same level. Yeah, it's cool.
All right, let's get to our next guest of the night. He's going to be brought to you tonight by Andy Gregg and the Guts Racing crew, who continue to provide the best seats and foam available. If you want the same seats used by Rockstar, Husqvarna, Hep Suzuki, and many more, then you need Guts Racing. They have numerous color possibilities, staple or Velcro installation options, wing seats, and the best foam in the business with the Phantom Ultralight Seat Foam. Don't forget they have complete seats for the Talari and Super 73 and covers for the Sur-Ron Segway. They strive to ship orders within 36 hours, so visit gutsracing.com. Use promo code VITALMX to save. Tonight, Guts Racing brings us from the Pro Circuit, Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki team, Drew Adams. What's up, Drew?
Hey, how you doing?
We're doing good, man. Doing good. How are you feeling a couple days after, I guess, your second Pro National, but the first one of the year?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. We rode at Paula today and did some testing on the suspension, and looking forward to this weekend.
How did they leave the track alone, or what? Did they re-prep it?
They prepped a little bit and left about half of it. I would say they left like the whole like hillside where the pros ride, and then they kind of prepped down by the start area.
Yeah, that place is nasty, Drew. Like, I've rode there a couple times just on amateur days or whatever, and it's not fun to me. I don't like it.
It's I think it's pretty fun. When the dirt after like 12 o'clock is not fun, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, especially on a practice day, they just don't take care of it as good as they do on a Pro National day. But it was fun at the Pro National. It was really deep all day, and they honestly overwatered it a bit, in my opinion.
Really?
But it was a pretty good prep.
Yeah, a guy your level, we hear this a lot, like you love the track beat up and rough and shit, but like just to go out and have fun, would you pick Fox over, Dog Pound, or like would you rather be East Coast with that good loamy dirt?
I'd definitely rather be East Coast.
Okay.
I mean, fun to me is just riding the sand
and
just getting good flow laps on a nice sandy track. That's fun to me, in my opinion.
All right, that's a good answer. I'm with you now. We're on the same page.
Yeah.
All right, so Fox was your first Pro National of a full season, 9:14 for 11th overall. At the end of the day, are you happy? Are you disappointed? Are you kind of just like, all right, it was mediocre? How do you feel about your day?
I was definitely half and half a little bit. My starts, I was very disappointed in. I couldn't get myself off the grate to save a life, but my late moto charge was pretty well, and I got better every time I was on the track. That was a good thing. I started off the day, I think Q1 I was like 15th. I was like, man, like I suck. And but I just tried to get better every session and get some good laps in, and I was happy with my late moto charge. The second moto I had two crashes, one at the second lap and one at the second to last lap. And it was just, I was a little bit mad about that, that's for sure. But like my charge all day was pretty good, and I was happy with that because I feel like a lot of rookies coming up, they kind of get tired a little bit and fade at the end of the moto.
Yeah, and so you mentioned the two falls, which I knew you'd crashed a couple times in that second moto. I didn't realize the second one was so close to the end. I kind of couldn't remember where it was. Did that really just kill your energy, or were you able to get back up and put in like a 2-lap charge?
Yeah, at the start of the moto, I was in a pretty good position. I think I was like maybe 13th or 12th or something on the second lap, and I ended up running into the back of Casey Cochran right after the finish line, and I fell over and I was stuck under my bike for a little bit, and I let way too many people get around me, and then I had a pretty good charge halfway through the moto, and I was chasing after Parker Ross with like 2 laps to go, and that high speed uphill after the roller section, it was like really ruddy in both motos, and I was maybe a bike length behind him, and I just hit a bad rut and immediately went over the bars, and I flew up the hill, and it did not feel good now, but I think I only lost 1 position in that crash, and then I just got back up and just finished the moto. I didn't have nothing left in me after that.
Okay. Yeah. So are you noticing, I mean, it's been a little bit since, well, I guess last year, Loretta's, et cetera, but are you noticing a massive difference in racing high level, like at Loretta's versus a pro national, as far, not necessarily the competition, obviously that's a big difference, but like what it takes out of you physically?
I think it's a pretty big difference in my opinion. Like Loretta's, you have 25-minute motos, and the different thing about amateur and pro racing is that amateur tracks get really rough, but in a weird way. Because you have so many different types of bikes out there. With pro racing, you have 250s and 450s, and the track just gets like way more gnarly rough. With like at an amateur race, everything's just like real small bumps and stuff like that, and like the ruts are just like so like not good is what I'm trying to say. And at pro races we're all good at remaking lines and stuff like that. And so I think the tracks are way rougher in different ways. And I think that a pro track just beats you up so much more.
Another question I want to ask about amateurs versus pros is, and I think I asked you this when we talked in Denver, I might've asked you this, but at an amateur race, you're pretty likely to be the dominant guy. There's maybe 2 other guys in your class, sometimes 3, that are capable of running with you. Now you're a guy that kind of, I did say this, I said, now you got to get used to getting your ass kicked for a little while.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that right now? Are you're kind of set up where like, I expect to have my butt kicked for a little bit?
Yeah. I obviously don't want to come in with a big old ego and, I got to smoke everyone in my first 3 races and stuff like that. I mean, I'm going to learn a lot this whole season, and obviously I want to be battling for like podiums, and a win would be nice. I think everybody would like one of those, but
sure.
I just want to learn a lot and just keep going up on the ladder. This 250 outdoor season is really stacked, and I mean, there's factory guys all the way down to the 20th spot. So it's definitely a competitive field, and I don't want to be like, I don't want to knock myself down just because I'm out there, trying to get in the top 10. It'll all get better, and I just need more time.
Yeah. Did you learn that lesson at Glendale?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Scotty?
Yeah, Drew, the competition is definitely the part of this that grows exponentially. You go from being the guy to being one of the guys, and y'all are all going for the same thing. Which one of your competitors, or maybe also teammates, have you kind of picked up the most from? And then who do you kind of see yourself being compared to, and where would you like to grow that towards?
I mean, I train with Seth Hamaker and Chance Hymas every day of the week, and then obviously the Lawrence brothers. So I just try to compare myself to them a lot, and we do laps together, and we're all pretty similar in riding at the practice track, and I just kind of need to convert that over to the race, and but I mean, as the last 3.5 years now, I've been riding with Jet Hunter, and I've definitely, my style's kind of switched over to their style a little bit more just because they help me so much. So I would say, I kind of ride maybe like Jet a little bit. I'm a little bit taller than him on the bike, so I can't perfect his form, but I try to ride like him.
Chase?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was looking at the chat. So you went up to Canada last year. Did pretty well up there. I was curious, how much do you feel that helped you coming into your first like pro season, and how does the intensity compare up there versus down here?
It helped me a lot. It's just as an amateur, you only race, national events, and there's only so many in a year. As a series, you have to put together a whole series and think about the long run. Whereas an amateur, you just think about one weekend and winning the whole weekend, and then you're a champion. But as of like putting together a series, I think Canada helped me a lot. The intensity in America is a lot more gnarlier, in my opinion. Like the guys are, it's a little bit of like disrespectful racing in America compared to Canada, is how I got to say it, because a lot of the guys up there, they've been doing it for so long, and I feel like it's not like they don't care as much in Canada as they do in America.
When you say don't care, do you mean like they don't take it as serious, or what do you mean?
Just like don't take it as serious as American motocross, and it's a couple levels down.
Okay,
obviously
that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
There's fast guys in Canada. Don't get me wrong, but in America, it's just a different level. It's a different breed.
Yep.
And, so I think Canada's just a little bit more toned down.
I think like a Dylan Wright, who's really fast there, Jess Pettis would not be winning in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's shown. Dylan's came over here and raced a couple times, and he's the top 10 guy for sure. But it's just it's another level out here.
Yeah, for sure.
Drew, you have a very unique situation in the fact that you have a team owner manager like Mitch. A lot of guys would have their person who owns the team not really invested as much as Mitch is. The fact that you were one of the amateur stars, you came up on Cowie, and now you ride for the penultimate team. What does that pressure feel like? How is Mitch doing? This has been a rough couple of years for the PC, and do you feel the kind of pressure to kind of be the guy that comes in and not necessarily saves it, but gets a title again?
Yeah, Mitch has had a couple guys like that, amateurs coming up, and they show some great speed. And, obviously Mitch hasn't had the years that he's wanted to. But I think he just wants to give me a little bit of time and get my feet wet in the racing. And hopefully we'll be putting up some good results for him here soon.
Yeah, when you look at the team, the talent is there. It's really been luck or lack of luck or bad luck or what do you want to say, right? There's 4 or 5 of the guys on the team are very capable of winning. So it's just, things happen.
I like it because it's more of it when they do win. It's more of an intimate thing because because they're so invested and Mitch is so down to earth with those guys. It's just got to be a cool experience, Drew.
Drew, coming off of Fox, heading into Hangtown, were there any surprises? Anything you learned from the Fox Raceway race that you maybe didn't expect? Like I know you did Ironman last year, but was anything different this weekend that you were kind of not prepared for?
Not really, obviously I did Ironman last year. I did a lot of learning there, and but I would just say that the competition's stacked this year and the field is gnarly. And I was talking to Seth just yesterday about it, and I was like, man, this 250 class has got to be one of the most stacked in a couple years. And so I would think that's definitely something that I had to keep my eyes open for. But, as of learning, I just need to get some better starts and keep it off the ground a little bit.
Okay, so we've had this discussion a little bit tonight, and Scotty over here doesn't like this part of the racing right now, but were you on the scoop or were you off the scoop, and maybe that's why you struggle with starts?
What's the scoop?
The scoop is so important for the start nowadays. You have to run it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's so much worse on a lot of the parts of the track, it's just so important for the start that you just got to run it. Like I was talking to Jet about this just today at Fox, and he was like, the last time that I ran a 34 tire was at Budds Creek in 23, and he said that he started like 15th.
Yeah.
So that's the 34 is just so good for a lot of the other areas of the track, like the hard packed turns and stuff. But you just need it for the start. It's so important.
Yeah, that's why Scotty was saying earlier that he doesn't like that. Like that that one little thing is so important, and then everybody kind of gets stuck on it. But but it is what it is. What do you need to work on most? You said starts. What about consistency and like training, stamina? What's like the number one thing you need to focus on?
I would just say my starts. That's I've been burning clutch outs the last couple weeks, and just need to work on those. This weekend, I surprised myself with my stamina. I was kind of a little worried because ever since my injury, like a couple months ago, like I've been struggling with arm pump a bit in training.
Oh, wow.
And like even in qualifying all day Saturday, I was getting arm pump, and then as soon as the first moto came around, there was just nothing there. I was like, oh, well, that's convenient.
Yeah, that's better than the opposite.
Yeah, for sure. So I surprised myself there a little bit, but I just need to work on my starts and, keep it, I would say, be a little bit smoother in the first couple laps of the racing because I feel like I kind of geek up a little bit
Sure.
when I get around people.
I get that. You mentioned, or Chase brought up Canada earlier, and that opportunity to do that, and then also having combines and futures is something that the rookies 5-10 years ago did not have the opportunity to do. I have to assume that you're very glad and fortunate that you do have those opportunities to get a little taste of it before you're thrown into the deep end.
Yeah, it's definitely a big opportunity for kids coming up now, and I really support the program. Obviously, you had Chance Hymas and even Hayden Deegan and them guys do it, and you see where they're at now. They're moto winners, and Hayden's got a bunch of championships now, and so I think it's a big help. And the thing about like rookies coming up a couple years ago is it was like kind of thrilling, and you never knew where they were going to finish. So that was the only thing that I liked about that was just you just had no idea. But I definitely think the combine's a big help, and even me going to Canada last year, I think that a couple amateur kids might go up there and race some Canadian rounds and just get that style of racing under their belt.
Yeah, it's really, really smart. Okay, I want to ask you about pressures and expectations as an amateur and then leading into the pros. I think I may have asked you this too on that video we did, but not everybody saw it. So there's a lot of expectations from Team Green and Pro Circuit when you're winning titles as an amateur, and then you move into the pros, and the fans, the media, and even the teams are kind of like, hey, all right, we're paying you a lot of money now. We're going to need you to be successful some point soon. Does that weigh heavy on you?
I mean, I think it does for everyone, Pressure is a big thing in this sport, and obviously Mitch and the team believe in me, and that's why I'm on the team, So the pressure definitely gets to you sometimes, like say when you have an injury, you're just like, man, like I let him down so much. But I think that you just need a little bit of time and the results will come pretty soon. So I just try to block the pressure out and think about myself and do the best that I can.
Hey, Drew, we're laughing. Whatever the background noise is, it sounds like you're making balloon animals. What are we doing?
I'm zipping up a couch pillow.
Okay.
I got ADHD. That's my bad.
I thought
you're good. You're good, but we're giggling over here because
I thought Mitch was making you sleep in a tent until you top 10.
No, I'm just sitting on the couch and I get bored.
I was like that too.
We just got a couple more for you and we'll let you go. Go ahead, Scotty.
Keep it simple. What track are you looking forward to getting to the most this year that you haven't rode yet? And I would hope that it wasn't Paula.
I would say I'm looking forward to Southwick this year just because I train in sand 25/8 in Florida, and I like those style of tracks. So just some of the East Coast rounds, I think I'll be pretty happy to go to Millville, and everyone's rode at Redbud before, and I'm excited to go race there.
Yeah, that one's good. Like my favorite to watch that looked the most fun are Redbud, Millville, Ironman. I've got to ride Millville a couple times, but those I think to me are like the ones that look the most fun.
Yeah, I like Ironman too. I like the old Ironman. I'm not a big fan of that new wood section that they have in.
Yeah.
It's a little bit, I don't think it's good for racing. It's so like dark back in there, and I kind of just like the old layout better.
Yeah, I don't think too many people like that section. I think they were just trying to do something different. So yeah, maybe it won't be back this year. I guess we'll know in a few weeks, right? I don't remember. It's earlier in the season this year, so.
Yeah, because of donations.
Scotty, did you have another one? Because
I was asking about the tracks.
Okay, I wanted to ask you. Well, I got 2 more for you, and then I'll let you go. Your size has been brought up a lot, right? You heard that. I think. Why am I blanking?
He's big enough to ride a 450 now.
Don, I think Don asked you that. He interviewed you after I did in Denver, and he asked you about that. You're a big boy, man. You and Garrett both on that Kawasaki. Do you feel your size is hindering you at all on the 250F?
I don't think so. I think the only place that you feel it a little bit is the starts, just because you're 20 pounds heavier than everyone on the gate. But like as of on the track, it has benefits in some ways. Like in Supercross, you have the whoops. The whoops are just little things compared to me, so it's pretty easy to get through them. And then like in outdoors, it's I think it's somewhat of an advantage almost on like rougher and sandier tracks.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, the longer legs for sure. I mean, I'm a taller guy, and I absolutely rip, right, Scotty?
Something like that.
Rip your pants, maybe.
My last question. I listened to your interview you did with Don today on Swap Moto Live, and you brought up your dad racing dirt track cars, late models. Was that like Scott Bloomquist, Billy Moyer style dirt track?
Yeah.
So was that
he
ever?
did it,
go ahead.
He did it, but it was. I think it was before I was born, like back in his 20s and stuff. But he I grew up around like car tracks and stuff like that.
Did you ever have any interest in getting in, inside a roll cage? I grew up around the same kind of thing. My dad raced dirt track too.
I never did. I was just always into dirt bikes.
Yeah.
Ever since I was a kid, I never had. Only interest that I had was dirt bikes. I didn't have any interest in anything else.
Well, it sounds like it worked out, Drew, man. It's been a good start so far, minus the broken collarbone, but you showed a lot of skill, a lot of talent, and I think you have a bright future.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for doing this, and good luck this weekend. Let's get a better start, man. Get up there and shove those boys around a little bit.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna try and do. We're gonna try and throw up some good results.
All right, man. Well, hey, thanks again for your time, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
See ya. That's Drew Adams tonight, brought to you by Guts Racing. Good stuff. You want to go back to the emails?
Oh, you're actually going to?
Looky there.
Look at him.
This
go.
guy, man.
Look at
this
him
guy.
Go. Yeah.
Yep. Let me go back to
Dark can dish it, but can't take it.
All right, Dustin Rutledge. Not sure which one this is. Hey guys, love listening to the show. Y'all are improving daily on the neck brace. I'm just getting back into moto. I had a Liat back, so this is another neck brace one. Literally had my neighbor's dog get it out of my riding bag and chew it up beyond usability. As of now, I don't have one. I really enjoy being able to wipe my own ass and do normal day activities, so a neck brace would be awesome. This is why I remember reading that, because I thought it was kind of funny.
That would have been the one I picked.
Yeah. It went into the hat.
Oh, yeah.
I picked like 5 or 6 stories that I like, and then I took 5 or 6 of them and put them in the hat.
That way he doesn't have to feel bad.
Yeah,
because
I like how he says that now.
Well, we were only supposed to give 1 away. We gave 2 because I liked all the stories so much.
You should have let me pick. I have no problem picking.
Thank you guys for keeping the show up and going. Thank you guys for keeping the show up and going. Keep up the good work, I think is what he meant. Also, make sure my wife doesn't have to wipe my ass. Sorry, Dustin, you weren't drawn this time, but I do appreciate the entry. I thought it was a pretty funny email.
You never know. She might be into it, man.
Okay. This one is, I don't know how to say this name. Mella. It's Melih. Melih?
Just read the email.
Malaya, maybe, but probably not. There's no A.
Gurali. It's time people stop doubting Jet Lawrence. He can get injured and come back like nothing happened and continue winning. He will go down as one of the most talented riders ever.
I don't think everybody really doubted him.
It's not doubting. It's just we know he's the best. We don't doubt him. We just want to see somebody beat him because that's entertaining.
Well, I think I don't know if people doubt him, but people I might have said, I don't know if he's going to come back that strong. It might take a while, and I was wrong.
I think it's wishful thinking.
The point is, he was right. You're right. We need to stop doubting Jet. I think I'm done doubting Jet.
I never doubted him. My biggest fear that he was just going to come out and go 1-1, and then that was probably going to be kind of like you said, maybe a little bit boring.
Yeah.
But, I just like to see good battles, and so I hope that Chase
that's the key.
Eli can do it. So that that's
I think a lot of it, people saying what you're taking is doubting, is it's people saying it to kind of give them some hope that the season's going to be good.
Some of it's a little bit wishful thinking. Yeah. Hopefully it will take Jet a little while to be as good as he was at Fox.
When you see him, we've mentioned a couple of times now, when you see him do the stuff like when Eli almost passed him in that corner, and then like the way he like jumps over some bumps into ruts and stuff, it's just like don't take it as doubting or hating or anything, because like some of the stuff I see from him is so damn impressive.
Oh yeah.
And like I'm just in awe, and I just want to see parity, and it has nothing to do with who he is or where he's from or anything. I just don't want to see one guy dominate. And I think that's why maybe sometimes it comes off as doubting, but I promise you it's not.
Eric Beam, I'm thinking with ET3's performance last weekend, KTM, Triumph, or Ducati will be adding a few more zeros behind their offer as his stock just went up.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed the rider?
Eli.
Oh, Eli.
What are your thoughts? So first of all, I have really good insider information that he's already signed. So last weekend's performance doesn't really matter. And I don't think one performance was going to add more zeros, but I think his abilities and his ability that he could still be a title threat is going to add a few more zeros, which is why he didn't say Yamaha.
I don't think that at this point you can take a single performance from Eli and go either one way or the other. Like it doesn't change his value. He's already created his value.
But here's what I will say from him is the email basically saying like, hey, that was the gist of the email was that was an incredible performance. He deserves to be paid. And I think that's why he's leaving Yamaha, right? He's not going to get the money he wants and he thinks he deserves because Yamaha's already committed to upping Cooper's salary and keeping
but Cooper
Justin
took a hit.
And,
as much as I agree, to be fair, and this is the one thing that I've been a little bit concerned with is the little bit of the indecision. Am I leaving? Am I not? Kind of put him in this situation. I think if 2 years ago he just said, I'm staying until I say I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd be in this situation.
No,
I think he'd be getting the money that he wanted.
I think he understands that, and I think I don't think he'd be that mad about the situation. He's probably not happy with it, but exactly,
right. Yeah. I
agree. He's mature. He understands like what all happened that made this transpire the way it has.
Yeah,
everybody. I don't think there's going to be any hard feelings. Like it's not that big of a deal.
I got an email a little bit ago from Tyler over at Yamaha. I got to do a press release on Vital for this. But as you guys might already know, the next Yamaha Blue Crew Invitational race is headed to Oak Hill in Alvord, Texas next weekend. What?
I said cool.
This will be the third and final chance for kids to qualify for the 2025 YZ Super Finale at MXON. So we're trying to help spread the word and get as many kids out to the track as possible. We put together some info, photos, and potential social media posts, and we're reaching out to see if you can help us spread the word. So this is for the press release. Anyone on a Yamaha is welcome, and they can register online. This is a really long link, but go to YamahaBlueCrew.com, and then you'll be able to find, it looks like TicketSpice.com. There's going to be links. Or by tomorrow, there will be a press release. I'll have that up on Vital
Are you going to go to that?
No, because it's next. I think I had something I was supposed to do next weekend with family. I think it's next.
See where your priorities
Well, no,
are.
I'm looking at the date. I think it's the weekend of Amber's mom and dad's 50th anniversary, and I'm helping with that.
Get your priorities.
It says
right,
next weekend, which I don't think that means this coming weekend. I need to look at the dates for sure. But yeah, I can't miss that because
it would have to be next weekend because I think we would have heard about it if it was this coming weekend. And I also
feel like
don't.
It's the 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Yeah, I also don't think they would have scheduled it the same
6th,
weekend
7th,
as a youth regional at Three Palms.
Is that this
That's
weekend?
this coming weekend.
Okay,
I don't think they would schedule it on top of each other.
I'm fairly certain it's the 6th, 7th, and 8th. I think those are the dates. But yeah, if you guys are interested in that, you have a Yamaha, you're in the area, check out YamahaBlueCrew.com. Is that right? YamahaBlueCrew.com, yes. Or check out Vital MX tomorrow, and I'll make sure I have something up on that. Let's see if there's any other emails that we need to read. Did we? Yeah, we read the Gary Cook one about the OTHG. Oh, this is the last one. Phil Smeltzer. 250 is Levi or Deegs is the title. 450. Okay, it's a little confusing. Remember, Hunter got second in the championship last year. So this is probably a knock on me saying that I didn't have much faith in Hunter, and that was on me. 2, RJ raced Daytona on 450. These are like, I guess he's putting up points before Fox and for coming up. RJ raced Daytona on 450 and won the moto. Webb only won 1 overall in 450s, and he has the same thumb injury and can't talk about it. His thumb's better. He's out. He's out unless.
I understand that it came out that the thumb's fine, but didn't he say in the press conference after did he say that his thumb was messed up, or was that all just from Phil?
So it was a lot of it was from Phil.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, supposedly it was pretty much fully torn, and then when they went back and looked at it, it was 50% torn. They didn't think it would grow back, but it
I
did.
thought he said something. That I couldn't believe that I won this title because of what I've been dealing with, but then it turns out that
I think
it was a struggle. At the beginning of the
he
season,
did say something there.
Of the season. Okay. I thought he was the way I heard it is he was grinding it out at the end and barely could hold on.
No, it ended up kind of healing on its own.
So this email did come before Fox, but it's kind of season talk also. Prado's on a new frame that can't be modified, so I think he's 6th to 8th. My guess is first race, either Jet, Eli, or Hunter. Well, he got that dead on. Not Chase, because he's been in Supercross mode till last race. Chase will win later down the road. If you ever interview Prado, ask him the comparison on how much safer did he feel on Gas and MXGP versus Supercross. He's on KTM, but that's okay.
Did that guy drive a DeLorean?
As always, great job, except the window licker.
Prado was on Gas over there.
Yeah.
Who's the window licker? I don't remember that.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I feel like there was something that probably means TJ sucks. I think that's what it means.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I think it means TJ sucks. Yep. TJ sucks. Okay. That is all the emails. So, yeah, we appreciate you guys sending them in.
Is window lickers like mouth breathers?
Similar,
that
yeah.
could be.
Okay.
They're in the same.
I thought maybe it had something to do with something we had talked about.
No, he's basically calling you the R word.
But who is he talking about?
I don't know.
Like
Probably
great
TJ.
Show.
I would say TJ.
TJ's mad that we always say that the emails say that he sucks.
Well, everybody's not here to defend himself.
Yeah, well,
he's
and
always
also,
getting-
like, if I said Scotty sucks, you guys know he's going to start crying on air.
And you can't say it about me because I'm just really
What's
cool.
funny is lately it's been the opposite of that. Usually I've been giving you a hard time, and you're the one that's been getting flustered.
When have I gotten flustered?
Right now.
That's not flustered. I'm like trying to figure out the hell you're talking about.
I did earlier. I don't even know what I said earlier, but I was giving you a hard time about something. Anyways, moving on.
Okay, ETS Racing Fuels was forged from the heat of competition nearly 30 years ago, developing purpose-engineered fuel for high-profile teams and highly competitive series. We have been the power behind many podium wins ever since. Teams using ETS Racing Fuels have won more than 50 national and world champion titles, and we continue to forge new alliances and partnerships across motorsports. ETSRacingFuels.com to find your local distributor. Teams such as Factory KTM, Factory HRC Honda, Rockstar Husqvarna, Mad Parts Kawasaki, and many more. Trust ETS Racing Fuels. Next week, Turds Take will be back. Let's go. Hudson's going to come back and do a Turds Take.
Sweet.
Oh, sweet. Okay. I heard you say something. Didn't know what it was. You guys ready for this TBolt USA top 5?
Mm-hmm.
Vince? Is Vince ready for the TBolt USA top 5?
I don't know.
Vince Pale, owner of TBolt USA. If you are a pit bike enthusiast and love shredding around on a CRF 110, KLX 110, or whatever you have, you need TBoltUSA.com bookmarked on your web browser. TBolt USA is a pit bike supply site that has everything you need for your shocks. Well, I read that wrong. Need for your pit bike. You can find handlebar kits featuring BBR and Pro Taper bars, D&M shocks, and even full bikes from YCF, Pitster Pro, and Piranha. TBolt USA has it all. They even have stuff for the Chinese bikes that are so difficult to find. You'll find pit bikes, engines, and parts at TBoltUSA.com. Okay, so we had a winner. Remember last week he was giving away some handlebars or a gift card. Handlebars if you're in the U.S., gift card outside. We could go outside the U.S. We asked for you to email us, and we asked for you to do you remember what else I asked him to do, Scotty?
Nope.
Register with TBolt?
Yes, sir.
Good job, Chase.
So of
I remember
all the emails we got for TBolt USA, 2 people registered. So a whole bunch of people were instantly out of the winning. A lot of people sent in photos of their bikes, which I asked. So we got a lot of photos of pit bikes. I sent them all to
You asked a lot, man.
Vince.
You asked a lot.
Really?
No, I'm just.
Well, 2 people registered with TBolt, and Vince picked Garrett Rockley, our longtime listener.
Yeah,
Garrett
I was just chatting with him.
So Garrett is the winner. I would assume Vince either has or will reach out to Garrett.
He's probably going to put him on like a 1978 something.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. But so congratulations to Garrett Rockley for following instructions. Okay, this week's TBolt USA top 5. I decided to go with favorite top 5 albums that would be unexpected for you as an individual. Most people know me. They know I love Tool. I
think they know you
Iron
are a
Maiden.
Tool.
I am a Tool? Well, that's probably true too. So those obviously are not, I can't pick albums from those bands because that's too obvious. So I thought I was going to get.
Do I have to do, I don't know albums. I just know bands I like.
That's fine. I'll give you could do bands.
I did albums. I follow instructions.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. I'm the R word, I guess.
So difficult, but I thought Vince was going to send in a list, and I didn't get the list, but that's okay. I'm going to go first. Okay. All right. So Adele's 21.
Adele jams. She's got a damn good
Yes,
voice.
she does. I think she's probably the best female singer of this generation. She's amazing.
Yeah, you're probably right. I give you
Ed
that.
Sheeran's Divide. Honestly, I like all his albums. I just picked Divide. ZZ Top's Rio Grande Mud.
I feel like you would like ZZ Top.
Yeah, ZZ Top doesn't surprise me.
But that's like an old school bluesy album that a lot of people don't think about. So
I didn't even know that album, if I'm being honest.
Well, okay, we can cross that out because I do have a couple honorable mentions. Whiskey Myers, Firewater.
Yeah,
Whiskey Myers jams.
Mazzy Star, Among the Swan.
Yeah, I like that. I like that one song.
And is Prince Purple Rain like too obvious? Because I know you guys are a little bit younger, but it's one of the greatest
but I wouldn't.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect you to.
Okay.
I wouldn't expect it, but I mean, if you have any kind of like music taste, you should like that album.
Yeah,
it's a good album.
Well, okay, so I had a couple questionable ones like ZZ Top. So the other one was Justin Timberlake's album with Cry Me a River. I don't remember what that album's called.
Dude, he's got a good voice. I mean, he's got some good songs.
Hell yeah, man. And he's one of those guys.
I can jam with just about anything.
Kind of like Daniel Blair that pisses me off because he can sing. Not Daniel Blair. He can sing, he can dance, he can act, he's funny, he can play instruments. Like, F you, Justin Timberlake.
Jamie Foxx, same type.
Same thing, Daniel Blair, F you. He can sing, he plays instruments, he can ride well, he's a hell of a podcaster, he's a hell of a announcer.
Mm-hmm.
F you, Daniel Blair.
I saw a video the other day of it was John Stamos was playing drums
for the Beach Boys. He's done that for like 40
years.
No,
not for the Beach Boys. He was playing a Papa Roach song, and he'd never heard it before, and just did the drums to it.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Really cool.
He's
I knew he was. I knew he was a musician, but I didn't know he was that good.
Yeah, he's been the Beach Boys drummer for like 30 or 40 years.
The Beach Boys still play.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know for sure that they still do now, but up until at least a few years ago, they do like one-off shows.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but okay, I'm gonna let you go and screw this whole thing up with your with your artists instead, or is it songs? Songs?
No, it's artists.
All right, go ahead.
Smash Mouth.
Okay.
All Star, I guess it would be the album.
All right.
Like Walking on the Sun and all that. I don't know which one.
I hate that band.
Yeah,
both of those songs jam.
Yeah.
They suck. I mean, Smash Mouth sucks as a band, but I like those songs.
Most people probably won't know who this is, but a band called Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know they are. Yes. Yes.
That's one for me. Yeah. Who? That's a good one. And then,
so funny.
I'm drawing blanks.
Oh, boy. You didn't write it down?
No, I had them written down earlier and I left them in the car.
This is what I'm dealing with, people.
Yeah.
I can't really be mad at our listeners for not following instructions when the people on the show can't follow them either.
Your Mazzy Star one was good.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a good pick.
You said you like that one song. Is it the one Down from a Bridge or something like that? Is that the
maybe? Yeah, I don't know.
That's the one that got me turned on to her music.
You were turned on by it?
Yes.
Yeah. Post Malone as Circles. Okay. I don't know if that's a whole album or not.
No idea.
And then I'll go trying drawing up link. It was like one of the first Boy Oyster Cult albums that nobody really talks about.
Okay. All right.
Those are kind of rare.
Not bad. Not
I kinda
bad.
messed that one
So
up, but it's okay.
MotoXpodShow@gmail.com. We would love to hear your lists.
You can tell me that I suck for not being prepared. It's fine. I take it.
And also, please like and subscribe right now if you're watching on YouTube. That helps us out. Chase, what you got?
I've got Portugal, the Man in the Mountain in the Cloud.
Okay.
It's the most outlier on this list. Coulter Wall, Imaginary Appalachia. That dude's like under 30 and has a...
What's his name?
Coulter Wall.
Is that like one of those singer-songwriter country kind of guys?
Kinda, yeah.
It sounds like it. So I was, like
yeah. He's got
it.
He sounds like, he's better than Stoney, but...
What's the guy that's really popular right now?
Coulter, probably.
No, there's another one.
Tyler Childers.
I think it starts with a W. There's like a... Hang on. I'll look because I know that...
All right, I'll keep going.
Post it constantly. Hang on. I'll tell you what I'm... But go ahead. Keep your list going. I'm sorry.
Marty Robbins, Gunfighter Ballads and Trail Songs.
Is that like country?
Yeah, that's old country.
Right.
Merle Haggard, his 40 greatest hits.
This might play... No, I'm muted. Keep going.
And then number one's Purgatory by Tyler Childers. Also, I forgot when Drew was on, his post from Paula had a Tyler Childers song on it.
Oh, really?
And that kind of made me like him a little bit more because kids these days, music sucks.
I can't find this, man. I feel like everything that Diana has posted lately has had that, and now I can't find it. And I feel like when I say it, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, because it's like this really popular country dude. Morgan Wallen.
Oh yeah, I don't like that kind of.
Okay,
guy.
But that's
like
I don't like it either.
That's like new like mainstream country.
Okay, so that's not like
Coulter is. Yeah,
totally
he's
different.
like he doesn't come off his ranch. He's got a recording studio on his ranch because that's what he does.
Okay, so when I hear the term, we're getting into music now, but Texas country, I've heard bands I'm like, oh, that's actually pretty good.
No,
it's
they are good.
Closer to Southern rock than country.
Is that kind of what you're talking about? Okay.
Well, Coulter's kind of more country-ish. He's got he's got a little bit of both. He's kind of folky too. Tyler Childers is more kind of like that. Some of his older stuff.
The best part about like Texas country is like their albums are one thing, but when you go watch them at a show, it's like a rock concert.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like they jam.
Yeah, if you went and watched like
if you're watching
you like
on
Whiskey
YouTube,
Myers,
people get upset with me, like for us being on our phones. But I'm scrolling my music because there's a couple that I thought about putting in that maybe you guys will know, and I'm curious if I can find them that I think are Jed Harrelson.
I don't know that.
Okay.
I'll have to look him up.
Tell you a little story about a man named Job.
You know what?
Oh, there's Billy Strings is really good too.
Let's do this. What the hell? If you guys don't like this segment, I'm sorry. Let's see what this is. I haven't listened to this in a while. Okay.
I haven't heard this, but I could probably listen to it.
I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit.
Here I guess band.
To make some sweet dreams come true.
Yeah, it's similar. Yeah, not the two that I gave you.
I hope you don't think about me wrong.
That's Jed. They can't hear that?
Oh, I mean, I can hear it.
Oh, I thought you just said they can't.
No, I'm saying I was asking if they could.
Should be, yeah. It should be playing through. So, check on YouTube and see if they can hear that.
I'm sure they.
We don't want to play too much because then we'll get.
I think he already went. That's what I was saying. I think he already went too far.
How long
I think
are you allowed to play?
10 seconds.
Oh crap!
I want to.
Well, skip,
I want to change one of my picks to the Ghost Town.
It's not Ghost Town though, is it? It's Ghost.
What is?
I don't know what it is, but
I thought it was Ghost Town too, but I think it's Ghost Hound.
Is it?
Yeah, it's Ghost Hound.
Yeah,
it is.
Okay.
Yeah, which is crazy because they freaking drove it down our throats. Okay, here's another one.
That never works. You can't.
Until you forever, I will die.
Yeah, no, this isn't.
Yeah,
that's not.
These are just some artists that I didn't mention it because I didn't think anybody would know. That's Mark Skibilia. Skibilia. There's Mazzy. We're just doing music for a little bit tonight, guys. If you don't, move on. I'm sorry. Some Mazzy right here.
That's not the song. But it's a good one.
I guess I get on mic.
I can't play that much because I don't want to get in trouble with it.
That first one.
Guys, we'll be done with this segment in 2 or 3 minutes. I promise. We're gonna move on, but we're almost done with the show anyway. So
Fade Into You is the song I like.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. Okay, this is Mitch Granger.
dirty streets and silver screen.
Okay, yeah, that's similar to
what
I'm
you're talking about. Okay,
yeah.
I think that's enough for tonight. But those are some artists I have in my playlist that I think would surprise people. But I thought if I said those names, like nobody would know who they are.
Oh, dude, I've got some obscure stuff in my playlist.
If I'm being honest, a lot of these artists, I haven't been on TikTok really since it got banned and came back. But all I did was listen to music, and it would pull up all these singer-songwriters that, like, these people, pretty much everybody I just played was from I discovered on TikTok. And I'd be like, oh, that sounds cool. And then it would obviously give you more stuff that you like similar to that. So anyway, sorry if anybody
They'll get over it.
hated it. But all right, Barnett clutches, pick one. With 75 years of experience behind them, Barnett Dirt Digger Clutch Kits features friction materials exclusive to Barnett for maximum performance and durability. Get 10% off with promo code VitalMX, all caps, at barnettclutches.com and feel the Barnett difference. By the way, real quick, the Guts Racing code, yeah, it's also a VitalMX for 20% off. I don't know if I said it or not when we did the read earlier. Okay, Barnett clutches, pick one. This was a suggestion from TJ. If you were, I don't remember how you worded it. If you were a pro rider, so I might be wording this wrong. Would you rather be known for grit? Okay, results are the same. Either one, okay? Would you rather be known for a rider with grit and determination or raw talent and speed?
So would you rather be Cooper Webb or Chase Sexton?
Okay.
I would say
that's fair.
I'd say speed and style because you kind of get some recognition while you're riding. A lot of the grit and determination you get
Questioned.
after. Well, like you get the recognition after you retire almost. Like people look back and like
wow, yeah, he was really
you don't
gritty.
get on you don't get on magazine covers for grit and determination as much.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you?
I think I would actually pick grit and determination because I feel like that says more about your character.
Yeah. MotoXpod@gmail.com. This is another one of those topics that we would like to get your
What about you?
thoughts on. We can read your emails next week. Man, I think I'm kind of known for both already.
Oh my God.
All right. I'll see y'all next week.
No, I would go, I think grit and determination. Yeah. Like, okay, it's tough because for like what you said, yes, I think people would, personality-wise, would be more, that's a better character trait. But at the same time, I sure would be cool to go, my God, what he just did is so unreal. Like when you talk about Jet or whatever, like how did he do that? So
is this jump dark sideable?
I've had people say I'm pretty gritty or I've like went through something hard. I've never had somebody say, "Damn, did you see what he did on that bike?"
Yeah,
never.
Yeah.
Not
he did
one time.
Yeah, I've always got he did the best he could.
Yeah, it's never been a good. Did you just see? Did you see what he did?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Okay, let's do the FXR picks for Hangtown. Again, MotoXpod@gmail.com. Get your FXR picks in. We did offer a FXR casual giveaway. If everybody, remember I said you have to get all of them right, and nobody.
Yeah, that was not.
There's no way.
No, because almost everybody had Chase in their top three. I mean, almost.
Oh,
yeah.
So we'll do another contest at some point in the coming weeks. FXR picks for Hangtown. I'm going Jet, Eli, and Chase. If for some reason Chase doesn't race, Hunter is in that spot. So it'd be the same podium as Paul.
Wow, where'd you pull that from?
Dude, I had a J Coupe at one point and I changed them around. That's my podium. I don't know what to tell you. Scotty, what's yours?
You're not going to do 250s, just 450s?
Yeah, just 450s, like normal. We're going back to normal. That was just for the opener.
This is for the overall, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Just clarifying.
No, Moto won this week.
Yeah, okay, fair point. I'm going to go Eli.
Okay.
Jet, Hunter.
H-Law. Okay. Chase?
Jet, Eli, Hunter.
So
because somebody in the chat said that on Title 24 that I guess Chase was out till Redbud is what they said, but you never know.
Well, as I said, if Chase is out, I'm going Hunter, but yeah, I don't know. Not sure where that info came from. Don't know if it's right.
Yeah, I don't either. I just saw that.
Actually, I'm going to take Hunter out and put AP as mine.
Okay.
As my third.
All right. Did either of you guys listen to the Dale Earnhardt Jr.?
I've been meaning to. I keep forgetting.
I started to, but it was all stuff that like I I already know all that about AP. Like he was,
I think it's very good.
It's great.
I love AP, but I didn't think it was
if you didn't know him or the sport, you're looking at it from the wrong.
No, I'm looking at it. I was listening to it from the perspective of somebody who doesn't know anything. The way Dale Jr. was asking, and I wasn't learning anything.
Yeah, but you weren't sitting there drinking a Mountain Dew, wearing a wife beater, like
no. Listen, man,
playing NASCAR 2024.
I love AP.
Yeah,
okay,
I mean,
I feel like I'm friends with AP.
Yeah, I would say you are.
When Dale says explain the difference in Supercross and motocross, and he didn't explain any, like I think AP was really nervous. He didn't explain anything.
Well, he's never been in a situation where he's had to go like explain stuff like that.
I gotta admit, man, I was disappointed. I was bummed because I was
did you
thinking
listen to
about
the whole thing.
I was thinking about the listeners that normally listen to the Dale Jr. pod that probably aren't Supercross, motocross fans. And they're probably like still don't really understand the difference in a 250 and a 450. Like it just, I was a little bummed.
I don't think AP was expecting those kinds of questions.
And honestly, not much different than Colt Nichols on the McAfee show. Like Colt, those guys didn't know much, and they were asking questions that didn't really relate. It's a little different, but I just feel like both those situations could have been more beneficial to our sport, and they didn't.
But that's because of where they're coming from.
It's a niche sport. Like they should have came in with. I
probably shouldn't even brought it up, but I just listened to it yesterday, and I was
bummed. I listened to about 30, 40 minutes of it, and I haven't a chance to go back to it. And I can see where you're getting that from, but I just think that it's hard. It's impossible for us to remove the lens of what we already see it through and look at it from the way that they do, because I think if you knew nothing about motocross, and you're just like a diehard Dale Earnhardt fan, you probably would have gotten something from it.
Hopefully, yeah. I hope so. I hope you're right. And again, it's not. I'm not. I don't mean to knock AP. I was just a little disappointed in the thing overall. Mm-hmm. I don't think Dale was getting what he was asking so much. And look, like Cooper. AP has said many times, like, I'm not real good at testing. Like, I don't really know how to explain these things. And I think that's what a lot of it was, because he was asking some technical things about, like, this bike or how's this set up. And I don't know that AP knew, like, the language that we understand, the general public doesn't understand.
Yeah, and I guess he's also looking at it as
he was trying.
If you're driving NASCAR, you probably know a lot more about your car because you grew up you grew up around it,
more mechanically inclined.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think so. But it's still a very cool opportunity. I'm glad that AP got to do it. I was just a little bummed, man. I was a little bummed on the outcome of it. It just is what it is. Okay. We're done?
Yep.
Yeah? All right.
Sounds like it.
I want to thank Racetech and Yamaha Motor USA for presenting the MotoXpod, the Vital MX MotoXpod. I want to thank X Brand, Evans Coolant, Guts Racing, TBolt USA, Barnett Clutches, ETS Racing Fuels, FXR, and ProX for all being on board with the show. I want to thank Drew Adams and Grant Harlan for coming on, you two for being in studio. We'll be back next week. Please hit us up at motoxpodshow@gmail.com. Give us, we don't have a TBolt USA top 5 next week, but I'm always cool. Like if you guys want to send them in a week late and we'll just read yours next week. Right. So get on board with this top 5 albums that don't necessarily suit you. We may not know who you are, and I guess you could pick an album that actually does suit you. We wouldn't even know it, but still just get involved, man. Tell us how look, I mean, that took up some time, right? That was cool reading 4, 5, 6 emails. I like that.
Yeah.
I'd like to have that every week.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Yeah, guys, I think we're out. We'll be back next week.